screen. She's a straight shooter, if you know what I mean. Dishing out the truth about the royal scene, with a fist of fire and a voice so keen. Hitting hard with those altar bridge vibes, no sugarcoating, no false alibis. Tearing down the lies she despises. Yorkshire lass with fire in her eyes. Stef don't play, she holds the line, shouting from the rooftops across the digital vine. Harry and Meghan under her sign, fearless and bold with a soul that shines. In a sea of fake, she's a beacon bright, unraveling the drama without a fright. Armored with honesty, ready to fight. Injustice quivers at her sight. Unbreakable will won't be confined. Mind of steel and heart redefined. Rhetoric sharp, leaving dust behind. In Stef's world, truth is intertwined. Stef don't play, she holds the line, shouting from the rooftops across the digital vine. Harry and Meghan under her sign, fearless and bold with a soul that shines. Will won't be confined. Mind of steel and heart redefined. Rhetoric sharp, leaving dust behind. In Stef's world, truth is intertwined. Stef don't play, she holds the line, shouting from the rooftops across the digital vine. Harry and Meghan under her sign, fearless and bold with a soul that shines.
Hey up everyone, it's me, Stef The Alter Nerd, your nerdy alternative, and welcome to this week's Daily Nerd Live. How y'all doing? How has this week been for you guys? Because shiz the freaking bed, it all went off a few days ago, didn't it? And it all had to kick off when I, very last minute, may I add, decided to go on a just random mental health kind of holiday, escape, whatever the frick you want to call it, to North Wales. And oh my goodness, first time I've been to Wales, and it was beautiful. Oh my goodness, yes. And it was the first time I actually went camping in an actual tent. I know, me camping, apparently it's now a thing. And it was raining and whatnot during the night. I slept like a baby. It could have been freaking Armageddon, and I would still sleep through it. So, yeah, I had a lot of fun, and it did me a whole world of good going. So, I'm glad I had the opportunity, and I'm very grateful I had the opportunity to go there for a couple of days. But yes, whilst I decided to, introduce my backside to North Wales, Hazza and Megxie had to then decide at the very same time to let everyone know that they're coming back to the UK. Now, I did have my stuff with me, but I thought, do you know what? Everyone was jumping on it. And I thought that because there was so much information that was coming out all in one go, a lot of it I was sure was going to be misinformation. So I wanted to wait a couple of days, gather it all, and then report to you. So this is going to be a bumper weekly nerd live stream. I literally have, if I count them right now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 12, 14 stories for you all. Yeah, so I'm breaking them up into sections. So the first section is, yes, let's get out of Dodge City. They are leaving America and coming back to the UK, but why? We have the official reasons. But guys, yeah, this is why I wanted to kind of step back. Because, yeah, I've done a little bit of digging. Let me put it this way to you. There's a lot more than meets the eye as to why they're returning to the UK, in my opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever. So I've got 2 major stories for you for that particular section. And then the next section, I think it says it itself, unless you've been living under a rock. I'm calling this section gentlemen only. But yes, there was this whole hoo-ha over the last 24, 48 hours. Megxie's gonna be in the next series of The Gentleman. Yeah. Some of you should have hold your horses on that one. So, yeah, I've got 2 stories surrounding that mess. And then the third section, yeah, so we've got, actually, the third section isn't security scam. The third section, it's as if I've never set up a stream before, right, guys? The third section actually is reactions. So Hollywood's reaction, Prince William's reaction, Sussex Squad, their reaction to Megxie and Hazza's UK return. You'd be surprised, guys. And Megxie breaking her silence over her return to the UK. Then we're going to get onto the fourth section, which is the security scam. We are hearing a lot about Prince Hazza now begging the UK government to give him the security that he feels Megxie and the family deserve. But also as well, guys, something that not a lot of people are reporting on, is he getting newspapers to delete a story that he wants hidden? Is there some kind of security cover-up going on? Oh, yeah. So we're going to get onto that in the fourth section, and there's 4 stories for you there. And then the final section, guys, it is entirely up to you. It's the bonus Hazza and Megxie stories, and I've got 2 bonus stories for you because this is a bumper episode. Entirely up to you. How do you guys unlock the bonus Hazza and Megxie stories? Well, if we get 10 super chats in the next hour, then you guys will have unlocked the bonus Hazza and Megxie stories. And actually, if I do say so myself, that's good value because usually it's unlocking 1 Hazza and Megxie story for 10 super chats in the hour. So you're getting double the bonus stories for this week's super chat goal. And just to give you a little bit of a teaser, I found out what will happen if Prince Harry doesn't pay what he owes to the court for losing towards the Daily Mail by, I think it's the 28th of August. What will happen? You'll be surprised. And another bonus story is what's actually going to happen to Megxie and Hazza's Montecito home. We know the official story, the official line. I've been doing some digging. Be surprised as to really what their plans are for Montecito Royale. So they are a couple of clues for the bonus Hazza and Megxie stories for this week's live. Again, only if you can, do contribute towards this week's super chat goal. I can see some of you We're already, what, a fifth of the way there? 2 out of 10. Thank you so much. And guys, before we crack on with the first topic, the main topic really for this week's live stream, let me just remind you guys, if I just do so right here. It's my channel and I'll spam if I want to, spam if I want to, spam if I want to. Yes, so my third brand new channel, Don't Do This on YouTube, is up and running. Thank you so much to everyone that supported me over there. It's something a little bit different, right, guys? It's for absolutely everyone, whether you're a YouTuber or not. It does not matter. Each week, I look at a well-known personality on social media, in the celebrity world, and I look at their controversy, and I'm like, okay, what can we learn from it? What can we learn from it? We all like the drama. I like the drama myself. Let's be real here. But how can we use this as a teachable moment? How can we use this to make us better as people, right? And so if you haven't done so already, please make sure you are subscribed to my third channel, Don't Do This on YouTube. We're already 327 subscribers in. Thank you so much to everyone that's already made the jump. I would love it if we can get to 1,000 subscribers so we can tick off the first box to be in next level YouTube legit, i.e. monetization. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to be completely honest with you guys as always. And so, yeah, thank you to everyone that's subscribed so far. If you haven't done so already, I've just added the link in the live chat and I've pinned it right at the top for you guys. I'm sure the mods will be sharing this link during this stream. So if you see the link and you've not subscribed, please do so right now. By the end of this live stream, if we can get halfway to 500 subscribers, I would be absolutely grateful. Speaking of being grateful, I'm really grateful to everyone that's already sent super chats and Casper books my way. I will be getting to you all once we go through the first main topic for this week's live stream. I have still been taking on your feedback. You want me to get into those stories straight away. So after the first story, I'll get to some of your super chats, but do keep them coming. In the meantime, here we go. Why all of a sudden are Prince Harry and Meghan Markle leaving the US and coming back to the UK? It's a big, massive 180, guys. Let's be real here, right? After all these years saying they would never return to the UK for one reason or another, all of a sudden they are. What's changed? What's changed? So my question, and I'm just asking for a friend here, right, is Prince Harry fleeing to the UK to avoid deportation after potentially possibly lying on his US visa? Is he fleeing to the UK after being caught potentially lying on his US visa? Now, firstly, okay, you guys might be thinking, well, hang on a minute. Why do I use the word fleeing when describing Hazza and Megxie leaving the US to come back to the UK? Well, I'm just taking the words right out of Hazza's mouth here because he used the exact same word when he described Megxie. He used the exact same word when he left the UK to go to America. Here's the receipts right here.
We were forced to leave. We left in 2020. We moved out. We fled my home country. We moved to California.
We fled my own country. Yeah, he literally said, we fled my home country. Now, we do have this article from Rebecca English explaining that there is more to the gruesome twosome's return to the UK than they are letting on. And when I saw this article, it made me think, well, hang on a minute. The official line as to why they're coming back to the UK, do you know what? It don't make sense. There must be something more. Rebecca English and this article really started me going down this rabbit hole as to really what's the real reason as to why they're coming back to the UK. There are a couple of theories. This is my first one, okay? Because here comes Niall Gardner from the Heritage Foundation asking a really good question in this article he wrote here for the Daily Mail. Is Harry's return linked to how he answered questions about his illicit substance use for his US visa? Good question, right? Because all of a sudden, as per the court order with the Heritage Foundation suing the American government to have sight of Hazard's US visa application, we're now getting these documents released bit by bit. Okay, the last batch, it was all blacked out. But these documents are being released nonetheless. The next set of documents are to be released around about end of September, beginning of October, right? Does Hazard know that he's on a ticking time bomb? That it's only a matter of time for the Heritage Foundation to get exactly what they've been asking for, which is how he answered the questions when it came to illicit substance use in the past on his US visa. Now, did he tell the whole truth on that question, which meant that the US government gave him special dispensation? And why did they do that then? Or did he lie through omission and didn't tell him everything? Now, just as a side note, Hazard spokespeople have turned around and said that he told them everything on that application, no lying whatsoever. So that's their kind of defense, right? But this is the thing. I literally, for a friend, right, have gone through the US visa application process. And I'm telling you right now, in my opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever, Hazard got someone else to fill it out. And I'll tell you why. It took about 2 days to get through it all. It's not just one application and that's it. No. It's one big-ass long application. They want to know, the Americans want to know everything, including your freaking dress size, your inseam size, the whole lot. They really go in. Then it's another application, and then it's another application after that to then go to the consulate for a meeting. I'm telling you right now, in my opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever, Hazard has neither the patience, the intelligence, nor the inclination to go through all of that. He got someone else to fill out those applications. I'm telling you right now. Because by the time I finished with my friend doing all of that, my goodness, my brain was mashed at that point. And so I think he got someone else to do his US visa application. But either way, he will have had to sign it at the end, Hazard. And he'll have had to read it all through it. And in my opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever, I do believe that Hazard did not put everything on that application, including his illicit substance use. I really don't. I believe he did not put it all on. Now, in that kind of scenario, if Hazard did lie on a US visa application, then what's the punishment for lying on a US visa application? Well, thanks to Observer 88, they're saying, look, lying on a US visa application is a criminal offence and can lead to 5 years in jail and deportation. Now, think about it. Initially, Team Sussex, right, turned round and said they were moving back to the UK for Megxie to return to acting in the UK. Which, by the way, as a side note, I love the reaction to this article right here from the Office of Indie. So she's moving from California to the UK to return to acting. Yeah, makes no damn sense whatsoever, right? But then the story changed yet again as to why they're moving back to the UK. Because now Team Sussex are trying to say that they're moving back to the UK for the children. Specifically because school places in the UK have become available. I would safely assume, regardless of the parentage, that Archie and Lily have literally the pick of the crop when it comes to schools. Right? So let me understand this, right? Hazza and Megzy say that they want their kids to have a British education at this point. But hang on a minute. That's not what she said in this interview right here.
What is it about Montecito? Like, what made this place feel like home more than other places?
Well, we moved here 5 years ago. Oh, we're just so happy because we can take our kids to school and have a really supported, sweet life, running around and doing the things that I think everyone maybe is part of your day-to-day,
Yeah.
But if you don't think about what life would be like without those moments,
Right.
it's easy to take them for granted. So I love it. We have such a beautiful, embracing community. Yeah, and been able to really create and dream here.
Yeah. How important is it?
So, she says she likes to take her children to school in Montecito. What, she doesn't like that now? Oh, but wait, guys. There's more. This ain't the first time. She's turned around and is like, no, I prefer taking my kids to school in America. Here, Meghan Markle once moaned she had a problem with her and Prince Harry's kids going to school in the UK. So this was during her 2022 interview with The Cut. She mentioned the concerns about paparazzi swarming her and her kids during school pickup and drop-off, saying, I have a problem with that. That doesn't make me obsessed with privacy. That makes me a strong and good parent protecting my child. Stating that if her kids went to school in the UK, it would be impossible because the paparazzi would be swarming them, this, that, and the other, blah, blah, blah. And so she's not letting them go to school in the UK to protect their children from the inevitability of paparazzi swarming all over them when they go to school and back, this, that, and the other. What's changed? What's changed now? What's going on? Again, first they say they're moving back to UK because Megsy's returning to acting. Then they say they're moving back to UK for kids for them having a British school education, even though on various occasions Megsy herself has been outspoken, saying that she prefers them going to school in California than UK for security reasons. Nothing's changed there, so why are they really moving back to UK? See, what makes their sudden move back even more shocking is what Hazza said in this interview here last year, right? Now, this was, if you remember this BBC interview, this was straight after he lost what we thought was the final attempt for him to try and get the security that he thinks he's entitled to when he comes to the UK, right? He lost that over a year ago at the highest court in the land, in the appeals court. Straight after he lost, he did this interview with the BBC. And this is what Hazza said when it came to ever returning to the UK with his family. Here we go.
For the time being, it's impossible for me to take my family back to the UK safely. I can't see a world in which I would be bringing my wife and children back to the UK at this point. For the time.
It's impossible for them to go back to UK. You can't see a world in which he, his wife and his children could come back to UK. Well, somehow he can now, so what's all of a sudden changed? And let's not forget, guys, a lot of people have. Let's not forget this clanger that Hazza dropped in 2024. Now, this was during an ITV documentary, Tabloids on Trial. Hazza was a part of it. He was interviewed for this documentary. And he said, all it takes is one lone actor, one person who reads this stuff to act on what they've read. And whether it's a knife or acid, whatever it is, and these are things that are of genuine concern for me, it's one of the reasons why I won't bring my wife back to this country. And as soon as he said that, and that was released, these headlines went all over. Even I reported on it. Your favourite YouTube content creators reported on it. Hazza will not come back to the UK for fear that Megxie will be victim of an acid or knife attack. Bear in mind that the last 5-6 years when they have come back to UK, it's been without incident, from what we know, of course, right? So you've got, initially they're saying, oh, they're returning because Megxie wants to return to acting. That's why they're coming back to UK. Okay. Then they're saying they're returning to UK because of the kids. They want them to have a British education. Both reasons making no sense, because why would you make a backwards move, moving from California, LA, to the UK to further your acting career? And when it comes to the kids' education, Megxie on many occasions is on record, as per the receipts I've shown you, turning around and saying she prefers the children to go to school in California for privacy reasons, this, that, and the other. Furthermore, I've shown you a couple of receipts, but there's numerous out there of Hazza point blank turning round and saying he will never bring his family back to the UK because it's too dangerous for them. So you have all of that. You've got to be asking yourselves right now, what the hell is going on? Why are they really moving back to UK? Because I don't buy the idea of Megxie wanting to return to acting and moving back to UK will further her acting career, because it makes no sense. You go to LA for that, not the UK. I don't buy the notion that they're coming back to UK for the kids' education. Because again, Megxie has been on record numerous times saying she prefers the kids having the education in California, US, rather than here. And I don't buy that Hazza's happy moving back to UK after being on record numerous times saying that it's too dangerous for his family to go back to UK without the security he so wishes. So think about it. Why are they really moving back to the UK? Is Niall Gardner essentially right? Let's go round full circle here. Is Hazza fleeing the US at this point to avoid deportation over allegedly lying on his US visa? Because as I said earlier on, to round this off, the timing of all of this, in my opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever, is not coincidental. The courts are now forcing the US government to release to the Heritage Foundation documents pertaining to Prince Harry's US visa application. Now, the first set that was released earlier on this month was all blacked out. But does Hazza know that further down the line with future releases that are set to come about, that there will be something in there that cannot be blacked out, that would force the US to deport him? So is he jumping, essentially, before being pushed out of the US? Think about it. Now, there may be another underlying reason as to why Hazza and Megxie are all of a sudden coming back to the UK. And so for those watching live, whether on YouTube or on X, stay exactly where you are, because in a moment, I'm going to be getting onto the second reason, in my opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever, as to why all of a sudden they're fleeing the US and they are coming back to the UK. And this is another theory that, again, I don't think a lot of people are actually talking about. And this particular theory, it does require a little bit of, I would say, knowledge or at least understanding when it comes to the UK tax system. So guys, you're watching live, stay exactly where you are, because I'm telling you something. My next story, you do not want to miss it. Hardly anyone is touching this. If you haven't done so already, though, make sure you are subscribed here on YouTube. And if you're watching on X, make sure you're following me at Stef The Alter Nerd for more misadventures of the gruesome twosome. Let me just quickly go through some thank yous before we get on to the second topic, which is absolutely crucial and critical for you guys to hear and watch. So I'll go through these thank yous very, very quickly. Flapper27, hearts in the chat for Flapper27 now. My goodness, I appreciate you every single week. Nyon, you are absolutely generous, not only with your time, but with your Casper books as well. So thank you so much for that. So hearts in the chat for Flapper27. Aussie Queen of the Ruse, thank you so much for gifting a leadership. Saj, hey up Saj, how's it going? How's Georgie and Olivia doing? I love the look of the title pages. Hey up Steph. Presumably you're talking about the thumbnails. I'm playing about with the thumbnails a little bit, you guys may have noticed over the last couple of weeks. Trying to change it up a little bit. We'll see what happens, but thank you so much for that. Aussie Queen of the Ruse gifting another leadership. Really appreciate your face there. King Bob with my favourite Gin Doggy Fighting Arts moment. Very quickly, just to initiate you lot thinking, why the hell would you be calling it that? This is a ginger doggy. The art's coming from the tail. When you lift the tail from a doggy, what's directly underneath? The butthole. Therefore, this is a ginger doggy fighting arts moment. You'll never be able to ever unsee it ever again. You are so very welcome. Aussie Queen of the Roost saying, yay, let's get this goal done. Abso-freaking-lutely. Jean Rick, thank you so much for being the OG on this channel. Yes, 59 months and just keeps getting better. Appreciate you as always, Jean Rick. Thank you so much. Ms. Freedom 97, again with my favourite super chat sticker. We will be going on to the next topic in a moment. I'm just quickly going through the thank yous. You do not want to move, because not a lot of people are talking about this next topic as to another reason why Megxie and Hazza are moving back to the UK. So stay exactly where you are. You guys will want to hear what I'm about to say to you guys on this one. Beth Kidd writes, thank you so much for the Casper books. Jean, Rick, and Miss Freedom, thank you so much for gifting some leaderships to you lucky lots out there. Jean, Rick, and Wendy Marino, thank you so much for my favourite super chat sticker. Deborah Hughes, thank you so much for the Casper books. Jean, Rick saying, can't wait to hear this one. Aussie Queen of the Ruse also saying can't wait. Oh, we'll be getting on to the second topic in a moment. Again, you guys should not be moving anywhere right now. Not a lot of people are reporting on this because it does take, I'd say, a little bit of knowledge or at least awareness of how taxes work here in the UK. Another reason why Megxie and Hazza are moving back. Stay exactly where you are. Lisa Boo, thank you so much for my favourite super chat sticker. Beth Kidd Wright says, don't we have enough gingers in the UK? And the change of tune from 6 years ago to now is hilarious to me. I thought we were racist, etc. Yeah, I thought so too. But we'll be getting on to the second topic in a moment. Yeah. Dodging taxes. They'd prefer to dodge taxes and live it amongst the racist Brits. Oh, yeah, I told you, stay exactly where you are. I'm going to get on to the second topic shortly. Deborah Hughes, thank you so much for gifting a buttload of leaderships to you lucky lots out there. And mic drop Lisa! Hey up, how's it going? Welcome back. Sorry I've not been around much. Don't apologise, it's all Gucci. I know you've been having surgery and issues there. But recovery's been really hard. Well, we're all here for you, love, all right? Just focus on your sen, all right? You know we're here when you do get back, all right? So don't you worry about that. Art's in the chat for Mic Drop Lisa right now. Hope you recovering well. If it's a long road, it's a long road. But you'll get there in the end. With that being said, guys, let me just get into the next topic. Okay, here we go. This is a very, very important one for you guys to watch right now. What could be another reason as to why Meghan Markle and Prince Harry are moving back to the UK? Could it be to dodge taxes? Hey up everyone, it's me, Stef The Alter Nerd, your nerdy alternative, and welcome to another dose of the Daily Nerd, where I break down the royal news and gossip of the day that's pretty much caught my eye. And oh my goodness, yeah, let's jump into this madness, shall we? Because there are a lot of stories out there at the moment, right, as to why Meghan Markle and Prince Harry are moving back to the UK. Now, initially, Team Sussex put it out there that they were moving back to the UK for Megxie to return to acting in Britain, which, by the way, makes no sense thanks to this reaction right here from the Office of Indie. She's moving from California to Cotswolds to return to acting. Usually you go to California for the acting situation, not to Britain. That's not what we're here for. Let's be real here, yeah? We don't have a Hollywood over here. Now, though, Team Sussex are trying to say that Harry and Megxie moving back to the UK for the children. Specifically for the children to have a British education. Now, they say they want their kids to have a British education, but that's not what Megxie said in this interview right here.
What is it about Montecito? Like, what made this place feel like home more than other places?
Well, we moved here 5 years ago. Oh, we're just so happy because we can take our kids to school and have a really supported, sweet life, running around and doing the things that I think everyone maybe is part of your day-to-day, but if you don't think about what life would be like without those moments,
Right.
it's easy to take them for granted. So
Right. So, what's with the 180? What's with the U-turn? It can't be that Megxie's going back to the UK for acting opportunities, because you go to Hollywood for that. You go to California for that, not the UK. We have our strengths here in the UK. What Hollywood provides, we don't. Let's be real here, yeah? They then say, oh, no, we're returning to the UK so the kids can have an education here. But that's not what Megxie said last year when she was being interviewed by Bloomberg. Oh, I love it to be able to take our kids to school and it's all safe, this, that, and the other. I mean, even the interview with The Cut back in like 2022, she turns around and she says something along the lines of, if we were in the UK, it wouldn't be safe for me to take the kids to school because there'd be paparazzi around, this, that, and the other, so I get better privacy over in Montecito to take my kids to school, blah, 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 blah. So we've debunked, as far as I'm concerned, the reason as to why Megxie's returning to the UK for acting opportunities. Yeah, all right. As far as I'm concerned, we've debunked the other reason why they're saying they're returning to the UK so the kids can have a British education. They've basically denounced the kids even having a British education for the past 5-6 years. Repeatedly. Publicly. So, why does Megxie and Hazard's story keep changing as to the real reason why they want to return to the UK? Now, in my main story on my live stream, I pondered the question, is Hazard fleeing to the UK to avoid deportation after potentially being caught lying on his US visa? Because Niall Gardner from the Heritage Foundation is asking that question. But there could also be another additional reason for them returning to the UK. Could it be that they're fleeing the US to avoid paying tax? Now, bear with me on this one, okay? The reports after reports after reports coming out, even more recently, more now than ever, that state that Hazza and Megxie are financially not in a great place, right? And the legal bill when it comes to Hazza losing against the Daily Mail is effectively going to make them bankrupt, right? To the point where some are asking that where's the money going to come from? Some are even doubting that he's even got the money in the first place to be able to pay his share of the liability after losing against the Daily Mail, right? And so, what are they to do? Cut down expenses where they can, including opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever, avoiding paying tax. Now, this is just my opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever. Do your own research, come to your own conclusions. But I went down this rabbit hole after I saw this from Nimesh Shah. Good to see Harry and Meghan achieve 6 full tax years of non-UK residency to manage the temporary non-resident rules for capital gains tax. They have clearly had some good tax advice, and the timing of their move back to the UK is immaculate. It really is. So, this is also known as the non-dom tax, the non-domicile tax, right? And essentially, it states that if you technically have a UK passport, which is what Prince Harry has, right? And you live outside of the UK for 6 full tax years, which for the UK is April to April. So in America, it's January to December. That's your full tax year, right? In the UK, we have it from the 6th of April to the 5th of April the following year. That is our tax year, right? A little bit complicated, I know. But this is why I say I don't think a lot of people are touching on this right now because, respectfully, it does involve knowledge or at least awareness or a little bit of understanding of our tax system over here, right? And I know about our tax system because I live through it. This is my own business, right? I pay my taxes. I need to know the tax rules. My accountant helps, but I'm very much aware of it, right? So, Hazza and Megxie, all of a sudden, after 6 full tax years, April to April, they achieve temporary non-resident status, which means when they come back to the UK, they don't have to pay any tax, at least capital gains tax. And I'm telling you right now, capital gains tax, if I'm not mistaken, is around 40%. Let me just, I should have Googled this. So, okay, I'm thinking of something else, but the UK capital gains tax, no, 40% is national insurance standard tax, depending on how much you earn at the bracket. 40% is the higher bracket. Capital gains tax rates for individuals are 18% for basic rate income taxpayers and 24% for higher and additional rate taxpayers. So think about it. Hazza and Megxie will be on the higher rate, no doubt. So they would potentially be looking at the 24% capital gains tax that they would be charged each and every year. That's essentially a quarter of their income, a quarter of their value, right? Guys, that's literally millions of pounds when it comes to Megxie and Hazza that they are now saving by literally coming back to the UK to live here after living outside of the UK for 6 full tax years, April to April. Yeah. So quite literally, the question here that I'm asking for a friend is Megxie and Haz are moving back to the UK to avoid paying tax, which will literally save them millions of pounds, millions of dollars, because they would be paying the 24% upper tax bracket at that point if they did have to pay it. Now, let's go on to Tom Harwood, saying if they came back in 5 rather than 6 years, Harry and Meghan would be liable for British capital gains tax on overseas income. Yeah, 24%, nearly a quarter of their income. They don't have to pay that now. Coming back after 6 years gives them an exemption. Yep. City AM, why Harry and Meghan may not have to pay UK capital gains tax if they move back to London. Having lived in California since March 2020, 6 years abroad puts them past the 5-year HMRC cut-off. So that's His Majesty Revenue and Customs. For those that don't know, my American alter nerds, it's the equivalent of the IRS. Okay? Exempting foreign sales like their $15 million home from UK tax. Now, we'll be getting on to Montecito Royale later on in this live stream if you're watching live, and what they are really going to be doing with that property. But let me put it this way to you. If Haz and Megxie do sell Montecito Royale, they don't have to pay any capital gains tax from the proceeds of that sale. Yeah. Now, here is a quick clip that I just want to play for you right here that gives a little bit more information about all of this. Here we go.
Are the Sussexes set for quite a big HMRC bill upon return?
I can tell you that it's very complicated and it depends on personal circumstances. But there has been chatter on social media, and I think I can corroborate that this is true, that because they have spent 6 years abroad, they moved to California in March 2020. They are exempt from having to pay any capital gains, any UK capital gains, I should say, on any sales made abroad, because there is a 5-year cutoff for this.
But that's quite lucky that it happens to be just over.
It's very good timing for them. So if they do sell their $15 million Montecito home, or sell it for more than $15 million, which is what they paid for it, before they come back to the UK, they won't face any UK capital gains tax charge.
Yeah. Now, Observer 88 breaks all this down into bullet points. So snaps and claps to Observer 88 for this one. So, Haz and Megxie's 6-year absence from the UK means any international income or capital gains that they generated while living abroad are now safely beyond HMRC's 24% capital gains tax reach. Yeah. So anything they earn while living abroad, our taxman here in the UK can't touch. They are literally taking full advantage of this loophole to, in my opinion, conspiracy theory or whatever, avoid paying tax. Yeah. They are literally going to be saving themselves millions of dollars here. Millions of pounds. You're talking nearly a quarter of their income there. And they don't have to pay tax. Yeah. Transitional tax relief rules could allow Megxie to pay a special 12% tax rate on any business funds rather than the standard 45% top income tax bracket. So you remember earlier on, I got mixed up with the 40% situation. So again, this is why I say maybe a lot of people aren't touching this story, because it does involve having knowledge, or at least an awareness or a little bit of understanding of our tax system here in the UK, right? So when you are employed or self-employed, right, over here in the UK, it may be similar in the US, right? I assume it is. You've got, let's say, brackets, tax brackets, right? So if you earn under a certain amount, then you're only taxed this percentage. if you earn over this amount, then you're taxed more with this particular percentage, right? So you've got different tax brackets. The top high-end tax bracket for those that are earning a shiz ton, right, is 45%, okay? Now, Megsy very, very easily, yeah, would fall into the 45% tax bracket, right? Where she would have to pay every single year to HMRC her taxes based on her income over the threshold where she would have to pay 45% of it, right, in taxes. Nearly half of what she earns, yeah? However, there's what's called transitional tax relief rules, which Megsy could also take full advantage of. And she could reduce her tax liability for her income from 45% income tax to 12% income tax. So not only do they not have to pay any capital gains tax, yeah, when they come back here, which is at 24% for their bracket, saving themselves quite literally millions of pounds, millions of dollars. But then you've got something called income tax that's here in the UK as well, where technically she'd be in the bracket to pay 45%. But no. There are transitional tax relief rules, and she could take advantage of that, and I'm sure she will. And that tax liability goes from 45% all the way down to 12%. Quite literally, yet again, saving millions of pounds, millions of dollars in tax that she can keep in her back pocket. We already know that Hazard's now trying to really push for the security that he feels Megsy and his kids and he somehow are entitled to. And we'll be getting onto that later on in this live stream if you're watching live, so stay tuned for that. But under UK tax rules, Hazard and Megsy can benefit from a 4-year tax holiday on foreign income and gains, provided they keep those funds completely outside the UK. Which we all know they have that set up in Delaware. Tick, 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 right? So not only are they saving millions of pounds and dollars on not having to pay capital income tax here, capital gains tax here in the UK, not only are they saving millions of pounds and dollars on a heavily reduced income tax liability here in the UK from 45% to 12%, right? But guess this. They don't have to pay corporate tax either here in the UK. They can shield their global media profits from British corporate tax. Yeah. So, as I went through all of that, I'm asking for a friend here. Is Meghan Markle and Prince Harry moving back to the UK? Literally, opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever, to dodge taxes, to avoid paying taxes, to save quite literally millions of pounds, millions of dollars on not having to pay taxes by exploiting the loopholes that we unfortunately have here in the UK. I mean, let's put it this way, guys. They have to save money somewhere, don't they? So Hazard can pay his bill when it comes to the Daily Mail lawsuit. With that being said, you guys, if you appreciated this video and you want more, and of course there's going to be more, then make sure you are subscribed to join us here on YouTube. If you're watching on X, make sure you're following me at Stef The Alter Nerd for more misadventures, the gruesome twosome. If you're watching live, stay exactly where you are. I'm not done with you guys yet. We're next going to go into the whole gentleman drama. But for those watching on the replay, thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate all your faces. And until the next time, you guys, laters. All right, you guys, thank you so much for that. We're going to get on to the next topic in a moment. Meghan Markle blaming YouTubers, us, for losing her role in The Gentleman. Yeah, the cheek of this woman, I tell you that right now. Before we get to that, you guys will want to wait for this one. Just a few thank yous. Lisa Boo, much love all, and can we get the likes up? Yes. If you really appreciated my deep dive in that previous segment I just gave you about Megsy and Hazard literally avoiding tax as far as I'm concerned, hit that like button right now. I'm pretty proud of myself on that one, to be fair. I can see here 495 of you are watching. We've got 335 likes. Come on, let's get those likes up. It's free. It helps this channel and it helps the community so much, guys. You have no idea. Deborah Hughes, thank you so much for the Casper books. Just saying, wow, I know, right? Bit of an eye-opener, that, isn't it? Aussie Queen of the Moves, much love to you as well. Miss Impossible says they can pay for their own security then. Yeah. Literally saving millions of pounds, millions of dollars on tax. Yeah, they can damn well pay for their own security then, can't they? Sinister Girls, thank you so much for the Casper book, saying meow meow from Joey the Chihuahua. Hi, Casper. Well, Casper says hello and meow meow. You guys might be thinking, where's the Casper cam? Again, it's off this week because Casper's not in his bed. He's out at the moment on the landing, just watching me, laying down and just chilling out and watching me. And so, yeah, I give him the freedom. The door's open so he can go in and out as he wants. And I'm not going to force him to, you know, be in that bed and close the door. I want him to have his freedom. So, yeah, looks like he's taking a few weeks off the Casper cam right now. He wants his privacy, guys. He wants his privacy. Before we get on to the next topic, another thank you to Chris Mills. Hey up, Chris. How's it going? Very impressed, Stef. Appreciate it, mate. Thank you so much. With that being said, let's get on to the next topic. Because, guys, Meghan Markle is now blaming us YouTubers, for losing the role in The Gentleman. She's never going to learn, is she? Hey up everyone, it's me, Stef The Alter Nerd, your nerdy alternative, and welcome to another dose of the Daily Nerd, where I break down the royal news and gossip of the day that's pretty much caught my eye. And oh my goodness, yeah, let's jump into this madness, shall we? Because it's Meghan Markle blaming us YouTubers and you lot out there for losing the gentleman role? Well, she really never had in the first place, but yeah. Before we get on to that, here is the story that did the rounds. Went absolutely viral and everyone absolutely lost their freaking minds over it. Meghan Markle eyed for role in Guy Ritchie's The Gentleman's Netflix series. Sources caution that the conversations are in early stages, are hypothetical at this point, because The Gentleman, starring Theo James, has not been renewed for a third season yet, though that is considered likely. Second season premieres September the 3rd. Additionally, no role has been identified so far, I hear. So, at the time when this was going viral, I was down in North Wales, you know, living my best camping fantasy, I suppose. And I'm reading this story and I'm seeing all the reactions and I'm there thinking, dudes, calm your tits. I know exactly what's going to happen. next day, that story is going to be axed. And guess what? Literally a tale as old as time, guys. 24 hours later, the supposed role gets removed from the table. Interestingly, who does Megxie blame for this? So this was reported again everywhere. This article's from The Hollywood Reporter. Meghan Markle reportedly dropped from consideration to join Guy Ritchie's The Gentleman. And so in a column published Saturday on Substack, we've got Tina Brown, former editor-in-chief of Vanity Fair and The New Yorker, writing, quote, "I learned this morning that the casting of Meghan Markle in season 3 of Guy Ritchie's Netflix series The Gentleman has been withdrawn. The backlash in the UK was so intense, it became untenable to go forward. This does not bode well for Meghan's acting comeback in the UK." We also had royal experts weighing in. Here, Baroness Wheatcroft, speaking on BBC Radio 4's Today programme, saying, quote, "The first thing any actress wants is publicity. And Meghan may be a good actress." Someone's being kind there. "She's certainly going to be offered roles, but she has to be very careful when the inevitable interviews come along not to embarrass the royals." Why would she be offered roles over here in the UK? Again, you don't come to the UK to make it big in the acting world when it really comes down to it, right? It's the age-old trope. You go to Hollywood for that. Come on. But let's go back to the backlash. Megxie lost her chance to be in season 3 of The Gentleman because of the backlash. Oh, the horror, guys. The horror. So what Meggs is essentially turning around and saying, opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever, is that she got dropped by The Gentleman for even having a chance to star in season 3, even though that's not even being gritlit, this, that, and the other, because of all the criticism from the YouTube community and social media, turning around and being like, what the deuce? Yeah. Yeah. Because we didn't kiss her backside and be like, oh, yay, Meghan, we can't wait to see you in The Gentleman season 3, even though it's not being greenlit. Because we didn't welcome her with open arms. Yeah? She takes a bat and ball home, has a hissy fit at Montecito Royale, before she leaves there, by the way, and be like, they don't like me. Wah, wah, wah. That's why I got dropped from The Gentleman season 3, even though I don't exist. Which, by the way, if you look at the rumours surrounding all of this now, word on the street, I'll put it that way, is that Megxie was never going to be offered a role. Even if there were very, very early cautionary talks and discussions about her being involved in a season 3, it was never, ever going to happen. That instead, Guy Ritchie was using Megxie to promote season 2. Now, if that's the case, well done, Guy Ritchie. Well done, mate. Well done. That is a chess master of a move and then some, right? But anywho, I want to show you some reactions right here, a couple of them from X. Here we've got Royley Sage saying, so what Rachel, i.e. Megxie, is allegedly saying is that we are powerful enough for her to lose acting gigs if we don't want her to be cast in something. Got it. Oh yeah, that's interesting, right? And here we've got Brittany from Royal News Network saying, I believe this. Megxie is wildly ill-suited for that type of show and the audience it attracts. I'm not even sure her acting could keep up with the witty and quippy dialogue. She can make a comeback, but she would be much better suited for a Hallmark-style film or TV show. Not even at this point. We've seen her Hallmark films. She gets slated even in that. But guys, for those that are watching live, the gentleman drama who has not ended yet. Because my next story, has Meghan Markle actually been caught lying about joining the gentleman series? I've got some receipts. You guys do not want to miss this. So if you haven't done so already, do make sure you are subscribed to join us here on YouTube. And if you're watching on X, make sure you're following me at Stef The Alter Nerd for more misadventures of the gruesome twosome. Like, share, and on the replay, comment down below your opinion, conspiracy theories, whatever. Again, those watching live, stay where you are. But for those on the replay, thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate all your faces. And until the next time, you guys, laters. All right, you guys. Thank you before we get into the next topic. Chris Mills, hey up. You're gonna try. Okay, I think this is the weekly try to make Steph laugh moment. Here we go. Okay, farmer walked into the kitchen with a duck under his arm. Okay. Which makes sense because a farmer could have ducks on his land, so okay. He shouts, "Here's the pig." Why would he be calling a duck a pig? Wrong species. Wife, yeah, there we go, says that's a duck, not a pig. He says, I was talking to duck. Huh? So he comes with a duck under his arm. He shouts, "Here's the pig." The wife's like, "That's a duck, not a pig." He says he was talking to duck. So, okay. Let me work this out. So he's talking to duck saying, "Here's the pig." Wife comes in. So you've got the wife, the farmer, and the duck. Where's the pig? Yeah. You got the wife, the farmer, and the duck. So where's the pig? Where's the pig? Where's the pig? He's a farmer. He'll have pigs. He'll have a babe somewhere, right? Maybe not talking babe, but you know, a pig, right? That's what farmers have, right? Farmers have cows, horses, pigs, ducks, chickens, roosters, all that lot, right? Where's the pig? Okay, I'm going to look at the comments now because you guys are probably shouting at me being like, "You've missed the joke yet again." And I know I have. Those that don't know, I'm pretty much the reincarnation of Drax. I take things literal. It's a thing. It's a thing. Chris, though, bless him, every week pretty much tries it with me. So I do appreciate it, Chris. And one of these days, I'm sure you will succeed. I just don't think this is the one. Because again, there's the duck, there's the farmer, there's the wife. Where's the pig? Okay. Oh, he's called. All right, I'm looking at the chat. He's calling his wife a pig. Ah, fair enough. All right, that's not nice, dude. If I was with someone and they called me a pig, I'd probably take it because I am a pig right now. Like, I really need to get my eating under control. I mean, of course, I'm pretty much eating my feelings at the moment with my mental health and all that bull, but yeah, I am like, I need to get back in shape. I used to cycle regularly, like 40, 60 kilometers every single week. Like now, I'm just on my e-bike. I'm not on my other bikes. Can't remember the last time I was even on my roadie on my cross. Anywho, one day at a time. Anywho, we got some more Megsy and the Gentleman drama stories to drop. So let's get into it right now. Hey up everyone, it's me, Stef The Alter Nerd, your nerdy alternative, and welcome to another dose of the Daily Nerd, where I break down the royal news and gossip of the day that's pretty much caught my eye, and oh my goodness, yeah, let's jump into this madness, shall we? Because has Meghan Markle just been caught lying about joining the Gentleman series? I got some receipts to show you. But let's start off with the foundation of it all. So this is a story that went absolutely viral, right? Meghan Markle being eyed for a role in Guy Ritchie's The Gentleman Netflix series for season 3, even though season 2 isn't out yet, and season 3 hasn't even been greenlit yet. But after this, 24 hours later, we then get this report. Meghan Markle reportedly dropped from consideration to join Guy Ritchie's The Gentleman. The explanation being because of all the backlash, guys. It just wasn't worth it. Come on. How do you not know by now that whatever Megsy is attached to, there is going to be backlash? I've said it before and I'll say it again. It's because Megsy has a trustability, relatability and likability issue. If people don't trust, like and relate to her, then people aren't going to trust, like and relate to what she's trying to do out there in the first place. It's as simple as that. Now, this is the question I'm asking for a friend. Has Megsy been caught lying about all of this? This whole drama with joining Guy Ritchie's Gentleman series, blah, 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 right? Because do you remember when she said this? This was for the Variety magazine article, right? The interview she did with them. Will she ever return to acting? She says, no, I'm done. I guess never say never, but my intention is to absolutely not. That answer is more hell no than maybe, right? As Brittany from Royal News Network says right here, this aged poorly for Megsy. So is she trying to get back into acting because she wants to, or does she have to? I mean, if as ever is doing so well, why does she need to go back to acting anyways? Good point, right? Now, this is not the first time, right, that Megsy, in my opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever, has lied about landing a high-profile gig. You see, do you remember when rumours went around years ago, right, that she was going to be the new face for Dior? Even mainstream media was reporting on it. I reported on it a few years ago. I remember this. The nickname Duchess of Dior was going around when there was this insane possibility that she was going to be a spokesperson, whatever, for it. But then do you remember, just like 24 hours later, the Gentleman story gets killed? Yeah. 24 hours later, Dior kills that rumour, that article. Meghan and Harry, Duke and Duchess of Dior rumours, untrue report says. Oh, wait. There's more. Remember the rumours that she was going to be in a movie with Kevin Costner? This was initially going to be a sequel to The Bodyguard. That apparently Kevin Costner back in the day wanted Princess Diana to replace the role of Whitney Houston. I say replace the role, be the new client for the bodyguard too, right? For him to protect, blah, blah, blah. Of course, that didn't go through. But decades later, you then have these rumours that Kevin Costner was reigniting the possibility of the bodyguard 2 again and wanting Meghan Markle to be the client instead. For Meghan Markle to play the role that was originally for Princess Diana. Oh, the ultimate cosplay, right? For Megsy, yeah? Yeah, but as always, then got completely debunked. Megsy's alleged role in hit Hollywood sequel branded ludicrous. Oh, but wait, guys. I always bring you the receipts. There's more. Do you remember those rumours? That Megsy was going to go into politics? That she was going to try her hand to be President of the United States? That she then was trying to go for governor of California? Yeah. That turned out the same way as the rest of her, in my opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever, previous lies. Completely debunked. So, when you look at the history, right, of Megsy and the stories of her being the new face of Dior, being in that movie with Kevin Costner, going into politics, right? And then within 24 hours after those stories coming out, there's a retraction. There's a denial. It's ludicrous. What the hell are you talking about? Yeah, I'm seeing the same pattern with this. Same thing happens yet again. Megsy joining the Gentleman series. 24 hours later, Megsy not joining the Gentleman series. Completely debunked. Just like the rest that I've just gone through with you guys. It brings me to one inevitable question that I'm asking for a friend here. Based on the history that I've just shown you in this video, has Meghan Markle just been caught lying about joining the Gentleman series in the first place? Penny conspiracy theory, whatever, I would say a big, fat, massive, yes, liar, 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 pants on fire, fire, fire. But enough about what I think. What do you guys think? With that being said, those watching live, stay exactly where you are. I'm not done with you guys yet, but if you haven't done so already, do make sure you are subscribed to join our Alter Nerd tribe here on YouTube. If you're watching on X, make sure you're following me at Stef The Alter Nerd for more misadventures of the gruesome twosome. Like, share, and on the replay, comment down below your opinion, conspiracy theories, whatever's. Do you think Megsy is a liar, liar, pants on fire about her joining the Gentleman series, which was then debunked 24 hours later? I think so, but what do you guys think? If you're watching on the replay, let me know in the comments down below. Again, those watching live, stay where you are, but for those on the replay, thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate all your faces, and until the next time, you guys, laters. All right, you guys, we're going to get on to the next section in a moment, which is reactions to Megsy and Hazard's move back to the UK. We're going to get on to Hollywood reactions in a moment, but we do have another one from Chris. I think again he's trying to make me laugh. Here we go. Right. Yeah, guess who's back? Back again. Drax is back. Tell a friend. All right. Ed Miliband was asked to judge a gurning competition. If no one knows who Ed Miliband is, firstly, I envy you. Secondly, he's a politician in the UK. He won first prize before the contest started. He ate a bacon sandwich for lunch. Huh? How can you win a competition before the contest even starts? That's the bit that I don't get. How does he win a competition? How does anyone win a competition before the contest officially starts? That makes no sense. To me. And then bacon sandwich? What's a bacon sandwich got to do with it? I mean, I like bacon sandwiches, don't get me wrong. Like, yum yum, right? I'm all for the bacon. But what? Does anyone in the chat get this joke? Because obviously this is another joke. I'm just saying. This is Chris, by the way. We know. Chris, bless you for trying, mate. But I'm not. I don't. There's a gurning competition. He wins it before even the contest starts, which makes no sense. And then there's something about a bacon sandwich. I don't get it. Yeah, I'm looking at the chat right now. I don't think. Yeah, I'm a bit lost on that one. I think some of you guys are as well. Chris, try harder. With that being said, yep, Drax is back, guys. Let's crack on with the next section. Reactions to Megxie and Hazard's UK return. And guys, Megxie's horrified as Hollywood shuns her upon UK return. They're really making their feelings known, and they are so happy that they are now getting rid. Hey up everyone, it's me, Stef The Alter Nerd, your nerdy alternative, and welcome to another dose of the Daily Nerd, where I break down the royal news and gossip of the day that's pretty much caught me eye. And oh my goodness, yeah, let's jump into this madness, shall we? Because Meghan Markle is horrified as Hollywood finally shuns her upon her UK return. Their reaction about Megxie moving back to UK is literally good riddance. Bye-bye. Don't let the door hit you on the way out kind of situation. This is being reported by Page 6 Hollywood. So one knowledgeable source shared that several former employees of Archwell Production remain in touch via text and bond over being unofficial members of the Sussex Survivors Club. Showbiz insider familiar with the pair added of their departure good riddance to them. They've squandered all chances of making money here. Plus, Harry needs to find a footing in the UK before Prince William comes to the throne. A movie biz source told us that the couple couldn't drop their tedious royal pretensions in town, saying there was a thirst for them to sort of find a way to maintain their royal lifestyle in terms of how people interacted with them and respected them and, you know, how they moved throughout the world. And then I think it all fell apart because they never figured out who they were or who they wanted to be. Like the goalposts kept moving. Following on saying she, i.e. Megxie, was the more thirsty of the two of them, honestly. Though I think they both wanted to prove a point to the royal family that they could be as meaningful as they believe themselves to be in the UK. Speaking about Prince Hazard, the insider says he's not a producer. He doesn't care about producing things, like he's always been about being of service and doing charity and giving back. He's never had a business idea, and that makes sense. I mean, think about it. When he and Megxie were dropped from Spotify, there was that story that came out that Hazard had pitched this idea, business idea for his podcast to interview top leaders of the world like President Putin and President Trump and discuss childhood traumas. I don't think they're the kind of guests that are going to be opening up to something like that. I'm just saying, right? What an absolute doofus. He couldn't produce his way out of a freaking paper bag if he were trapped in one, you know what I mean? Now, insiders are also saying that they've worn out their welcome with their famous friends and industry insiders. Source saying, I don't know if they're still friends with Tyler Perry. I don't think they really talk to Oprah anymore. But let's get more onto Hollywood icons, Hollywood A-list, because they've been reacting to the news that Hazza and Megxie are coming back to UK. Here's Bill Maher's reaction to it all.
I can see it in your eyes. I know why you're happy today.
You know, I'm not. I bet, yeah, you guys in America, right? You're proper cock-a-hoop, right? You're getting rid of the gruesome twosome. We got to take them back. Come on. Couldn't you have lasted another 5 more years? I'm just saying.
Meghan Markle and Prince Harry are going back to England. I tell you, that ice doesn't fuck around, huh? It's not that. This was Harry's idea. He wants to be closer to the family that's not speaking to him. And I think...
Yep. I've got this from Megyn Kelly and her reaction.
2 important self-deportations that can unite all of America. This is the first thing we've been able to agree upon in over a decade. Meghan and Harry are leaving. Praise Jesus. They're going. Get back to the UK. Go become somebody else's problem. We're sick of you. We have enough weirdos, narcissistic, obsessed Americans already. The country's full. It's saturated. Go home, Harry. We never wanted you here to begin with. If we had to have one of the kids of Prince Charles, then Prince Charles, we all wanted William. No one wanted you. I don't know how we got stuck with Meghan anyway. We had safely ejected her to Canada. Then you came along, took her over to UK. That was fine. It was a hot mess for you, but we were still living our beautiful lives. And now finally, she's going back to the UK.
No! We even have Don Lemon and his reaction to all this. Here we go.
What? What is going on here? After all that consternation, all that stuff y'all put us through, the Oprah interview, all that, oh my God, what color is the baby going to be behind the ears in the royal family? Prince Harry and his wife Meghan and their children are moving back to Britain. That's what folks are saying. They're enrolling their kids. They had I guess they repaired stuff. Look, I'm rooting for y'all. The interracial of it all, I get it. I'm rooting for y'all, but come on, make up y'all's mind. Good luck, whatever.
Oh, and by the way, another thing, I predicted that this would happen. Now, I thought that they may separate and then he would go back, but there's a twist. They're both going back now. That's going to be a little bit of drama. I want to know what Kate's going to say. Is it going to be kissy, kissy, huggy, hug, or Shady McShade? The latter, I'm sure.
I'm sure too. But oh my goodness, it gets better. Thanks to me good friend Resting Dollface. Make sure you subscribe to her on YouTube and you're following her on X. Yeah, The Cut magazine just burned Hazza and Megxie returning to the UK. Here we go. This is The Cut and their Instagram on her decision to leave the UK. And they just put this up on Instagram, right? After the news broke that they're returning back to UK. Just by existing, we were upsetting the dynamic of the hierarchy. So we go, okay, fine, let's get out of here. Happy to. All of a sudden, happy to go back to UK. Hollywood and the whole industry is literally rejoicing. Literally saying, good riddance. Megxie must be horrified with that reaction. Opinion conspiracy theory, whatever, an alleged narcissistic nutbag from hell must have thought, if I'm going to believe in America, everyone's going to cry and be so sad that they're going to be losing such an important person like me to the UK. Nah, it's not turned out that way. But guess what? More reactions coming. So for those watching live, whether on YouTube or on X, stay exactly where you are. I'm not done with you guys yet. Prince William has reacted to Hazard and Megxit returning, so I'm going to be reporting on that. If you haven't done so already, though, do make sure you are subscribed to join our Alter Nerd tribe here on YouTube. If you're watching on X, make sure you're following me at Stef Alter Nerd for more misadventures, the gruesome twosome. Like, share, and comment down below your opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever. If you're an American Alter Nerd, I want to know your reaction to what you think of Hazard and Megxit returning to the UK. I'm sure you're celebrating. Go on. Rub it in the comments down below. With that being said, those watching live, stay where you are. Those on the replay, thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate all your faces. And until the next time, you guys, laters. All right, you guys, we're going to get on to Prince William's reaction in a moment. Just a few thank yous. Here we go. All right. This must be another joke from Chris Mills. Let's have a look. Right. Okay. 3 a.m. last night. Top-level security chief said we've been guarding empty rooms in Montecito. No kids, toys outside, or school runs. "3 a.m. last night, top-level security chief said we've been guarding empty rooms in Montecito. No kids, toys outside, or school runs." Is this supposed to be a joke about the rumour that the kids don't exist? I think I get this joke. It's just not funny for me. It doesn't offend me, don't get me wrong, whatever, right? But I think this is a joke to try and, joke about the rumour that the kids don't exist. Now, I do believe that kids exist. Even Lady C has been emphatic. The kids exist, right? But yeah, I think I get the joke. But yeah, no. So, okay, you achieved 50% of it this time, right? I got the joke, but I didn't laugh. So now you just need to crack the other 50% of me getting the joke and then me laughing over it. You're getting closer, Chris. You're getting closer. Ozzy, sent email, Steph. Not sure if you already know this. Yeah, I've seen your email. Appreciate you. They're never going to win us over. They're done. Shaz, thank you so much for your support. I actually feel so sorry for the kids. It's going to be so strange for them. Thanks for sharing your thoughts with us, Steph. Always. Always. And Chris Mills, quanto se bella stasera. Best entertainment of the week. Why, thank you. Appreciate you, mate. With that being said, let's crack on with Prince William's reaction to Hazza and Meg's return to the UK. And guys, he is furious. Hey up everyone, it's me, Stef The Alter Nerd, your nerdy alternative, and welcome to another dose of the Daily Nerd, where I break down the royal news and gossip of the day that's pretty much caught me eye. And oh my goodness, yeah, let's jump into this madness, shall we? Because Prince Harry and Meghan Markle are in trouble. Prince William seemingly has reacted to their UK return, and guys, he's not happy. He is furious. So let's jump into it right now. This being reported by The Express, William and Princess Catherine's reaction to Harry and Meghan coming back to the UK revealed. So both Prince William and Princess Catherine are standing firm against Hazza and Megxy, declaring they want no part in any drama surrounding Hazza and Megxy's return to Britain. Prince William remaining adamant that there's no way back for Hazza and Megxy to rejoin the royal family in any official capacity. Sources have confirmed that Prince William and King Charles, who were both informed of the move on Sunday the 16th of August, are in complete lockstep, refusing to allow a half-in, half-out royal role after Hazza and Megxy spent the last 5-6 years attacking the royal family and the British public. Friends close to Prince William and Princess Catherine have stressed that the couple are just looking forward. One source, according to the Mirror, saying, quote, obviously Hazza and Meg's return will make inevitable headlines for a few days, but it has no bearing on Prince William and Princess Catherine's life moving forward. If anything, events that have affected them over the past couple of years have made them even more determined to concentrate on what is important to them, their family, their public roles, and the ability to provide generational change for good with their public roles, and look forward to the future. Another source close to Prince William and Princess Catherine says what Hazza and Megxy choose to do is up to them. As far as Prince William and Princess Catherine are concerned, they have left that period of their lives behind many years ago. While they simply cannot forgive everything that has been against them and the family, they do not have the time or the energy for any negativity or the drama that Hazza and Megxy surround themselves with. As they have demonstrated with their public roles, everything they are trying to do is about positivity and making the world a better place as far as they can. So, firstly, they're not happy with Hazza and Megxy coming back to the UK, and I'm not surprised. And they are making sure in their reaction that there is definitely no way back for Hazza and Megxy to assume an official royal role in the royal family. And also making sure in light of their reaction, that there is definitely no way that Hazza and Megxy can achieve an official half-in, half-out royal kind of status that they so desperately want Hazza and Megxy do. So, in all of this, when it comes to this particular reaction from Prince William and Princess Catherine, how will they both handle the gruesome twosome's return to the UK? Because, guys, this is now inevitable. This is, unfortunately for us British, it's happening. Well, here we go. Exclusive from Radar Online, Prince William vows to be silent as Hazza and Megxy return to Britain. So how is Prince William and Princess Catherine going to handle their return? Through silence. They're going to give them the silent treatment. Good. Good. So let's get into this story a little bit more here, right? A source familiar told Radar, quote, Prince William, has made it clear that Hazza returning to Britain does not mean they are suddenly brothers again in any meaningful sense. His position is that he has nothing to say to Hazza, and he has vowed he will not be drawn into meetings simply because Hazza is living in the country again. There's still enormous anger on Prince William's part over what has been said about Princess Catherine and the family. Prince William sees protecting his wife and children as his priority. King Charles may want reconciliation with his younger son, but Prince William is nowhere near that point. and doesn't intend to pretend otherwise. Bit of a mouthful, that one, but we got there in the end, right? And I'm not surprised. After everything Hazard said, just in his book, Spare alone, against Prince William and Princess Catherine, it's enough for Prince William to turn around and say, I want nothing to do with you. I don't want you or Megxie near my family in any way, shape or form. You're a danger to my family. Keep your freaking distance. I wouldn't be surprised if Prince William took that stance. If anything, I'd be applauding him and encouraging him to crack on with that. Moreover, I'm not surprised if Prince William is taking this stance because, you know, how Omid Scobie accidentally, you know, released that version of Endgame a couple of years back that named Princess Catherine one of the royal racists, right? Which, again, I do not believe in any way, freaking shape or form. All the attacks that Princess Catherine alone has had to endure over the last 5-6 years. Not only from those instances, but from the Sussex squad, right? When Princess Catherine was out of public life, they did that whole Where's Kate thing. It was absolutely disgusting. She was going through cancer treatment at the time. Even Christopher freaking Boozy got in on it. It was awful. It was insane. It was madness. And the things that the Sussex squad was saying was absolutely disgusting. Not once did Hazard and Megxie publicly denounce any of that. Through their silence, as far as I'm concerned, Hazard and Megxie were complicit in the Sussex squad and their relentless attacks at Princess Catherine during a very, very vulnerable time of her life. So, yeah, Prince William turning round and reacting to Hazard and Megxie's return to the UK by saying, you ain't coming anywhere near my family, I'm protecting my family against you two? Hell freaking yeah. I do not blame him in any way, shape or form. Now, there is a little bit more to that because the source says that he has said privately that he has vowed to give Hazard and Megxie the silent treatment and has stated he will not be speaking to either of them for the foreseeable future. I would say forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. Amen, right? But yeah, Prince William ain't happy. And his reaction to Prince Hazard and Megxie's return to UK, giving them the silent treatment. What's worse for an alleged narcissistic nutbags from hell to experience? The silent treatment. That's going to drive them absolutely nuts. With that being said, those watching live on YouTube and on X, stay exactly where you are. I'm not done with you guys yet. Megxie is experiencing a Sussex squad backlash over her UK return. They are not happy with their queen. So for those watching live on YouTube or on X, stay exactly where you are. You don't want to miss this. Oh, the tables have turned and Megxie ain't gonna like this one. So do make sure you are subscribed to join us here on YouTube. And if you're watching on X, make sure you're following me at Stef The Alter Nerd for more misadventures of the gruesome twosome. Like, share, and on the replay, comment down below your opinion, conspiracy theories, whatevers. Again, those watching live, stay where you are. But for those on the replay, thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate all your faces. And until the next time, you guys, laters. All right, guys, we're going to get on to the Sussex squad backlash in a moment. Just as we're a little bit over halfway through now because I've still got a buttload of stories for you guys to get through. I just want to remind you guys, if you don't know already, my third channel is now live. The expansion of the Alterverse continues with Don't Do This on YouTube. Now, just to explain this channel and what it's all about, we all love drama. I love drama, you love drama, we all love drama, right? Let's be real here. However, I want to turn it on its head, right? And yes, discuss the drama when it comes to well-known social media stars and celebrities, but look at it as a teachable moment. What can we learn from these dramas, from these controversies? To be better people. What can we learn from these mistakes, right? Again, turning it all into a positive, teachable moment. So if you guys are down for that, and why wouldn't you be, then please, 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 right now, subscribe to my third channel, Don't Do This on YouTube, and support the expansion of the Alterverse as it continues. The link of which is pinned right at the top of the live chat. I'm going to also spam you guys with the link right now, so you definitely can't miss it. I know the good mods in the Alter Nerd community have already been sharing this link far and wide. I want to thank everyone that's already supported me over on this channel so far. I really do appreciate it. We started off with 327 subscribers, now on 341. That's absolutely amazing. I would love it if we can reach 500 subscribers. I can see here that over 400 of you are watching right now. What are you doing? Get on over right now and subscribe. I can see here on X, over 240 of you are watching right now. So I'm just going to pop in the link in the live chat over there. So if any of you guys also watch YouTube, please do me a favor. Head on over to my third channel right now and click that subscribe button. To be next level YouTube legit and to be monetized, because let's be honest here, that's what YouTube content creators want to achieve for their channels. First hurdle is to get to 1,000 subscribers. So please be part of the story. Please be part of my success. Get on over to my third channel and subscribe to Don't Do This on YouTube. Turning drama on its head and turning drama into a teachable moment. Turning drama into positivity. I like it. What do you guys think? Head on over, subscribe right now. Special thank you to everyone that's already supporting me over there. I really, really do appreciate you. With that being said, oh my goodness, let's get on to the next topic. Meghan Markle's UK return has sparked an almighty Sussex squad backlash. She ain't going to be recovering from this one. Hey up everyone, it's me, Stef The Alter Nerd, your nerdy alternative, and welcome to another dose of the Daily Nerd, where I break down the raw news and gossip of the day that's pretty much caught me eye. And oh my goodness, yeah, let's jump into this madness, shall we? Because Meghan Markle's UK return has sparked a Sussex squad backlash that Megsy's just not going to recover from. She is done. The Sussex squad are disowning their queen, it seems. So let's get into some of the Sussex squad reactions to Hazard and Megsy returning, because this is not what the gruesome twosome hoped for. Thanks to the good folk on X for sharing some of these magical little tidbits. Here we go. This is from Terry. Meghan Markle willingly going back to the UK was not on my bingo card. Now, that's something that I can certainly agree with a Sussex squad member there. I think hell is just officially frozen over. Was not on my bingo card either for Megsy to return to the UK. Yeah. Next time they do some shiz to you, don't come running to us, sis. Oh. Oh. Yeah. Sussex squad are not happy with her. Here, we've got fan of the Prince and Princess of Wales saying, breaking, Zandy Sussex's mind. Guess what? Oh, yeah. Zandy Sussex, her mind is literally broken. Another thought. I won't put it past Prince William and Princess Catherine. Of course, she doesn't use their names like that, but I ain't going to read hers word for word. To have threatened to resign from the line of succession and take their kids with them as a way of holding everyone ransom and forcing King Charles off the throne. They've been absolutely drunk with power since they bullied Hazard and Megxie out of the country. This is essentially the government and Charles calling their bluff and saying, F you, go ahead. There's a King Henry if needed. Yeah. The delusions continue, guys. What the hell, right? Here, we got Nancy Sidley from Sidley Twins, me good mate, saying Sussex Squad crashing out in real time, sharing this little tidbit from Joe Diva. Oh, yeah, Joe Diva. Hey up, Joe Diva, you freaking moron. You know how it feels when your bestie goes back to her monster husband after sleeping on your couch for a month? Sometimes you just need to learn that all you can do is wish her the best. So the Sussex Squad are literally equating Megxie going back to the UK to a victim going back to their monster in a very, very unhealthy relationship. That, for me, is so wrong on so many freaking levels. Yeah. So wrong on so many levels. Gwen, the squad and Derangers finally agreeing on something. I know, right? Joe Diva saying, I'm not going to lie, after being here since 2018, I'm speechless. Sussex Squad are not happy with Megxie returning to UK. Girl, you and me both. I'm waiting to watch the train wreck from the sidelines. At least this time there were no surprises and they're going to go to the lion's den with eyes wide open. No excuses of we didn't know. Mega Simeam 444 saying, Meghan protected her peace by ignoring the noise. Sadly, we heard all the noise and fought for her. Poor Doria must think grandkids are accepted now they didn't inherit her hue. So now they're putting race into all this as well. Of course they do, right? Of course they do. But wait, guys. There's more! Sussex Rain. Squaddies, my testimony is when you wash your hands of Harry and Meghan's BS, everything is better. This time round will be no different from the last. They've made their bed. You do not need to lie in it with them and absorb the nastiness that is to come. Choose yourselves. As in, the returning to UK, abandoned freaking ship. Then saying they've become laughing stocks. I cringe for them. Even the Sussex Squad are now admitting that Hazard and Megxie are laughing stocks and they are now cringing. Cringing with a capital C. I could have never thought in my wildest dreams that I would be living in a reality where I would see this backlash from the Sussex Squad. Wow. And I would actually be agreeing with the Sussex Squad on some of their points. Like, dude, this is insane. Has hell just frozen over? Shall we just check what the deuce is going on here, right? Am I still alive? I mean, I'm pinching myself right now like, it feels like I'm still alive. What the hell? What the hell? Here, we've got Sophia A. Nelson saying, I just can't believe it. Alleging Megxie has built a wonderful life here in California and Hollywood, her family, marriage. The UK is very hateful towards her and Harry. Didn't she just look outside and just look at the American public and mainstream media? The American public and mainstream media in the US ain't too fond of Hazard and Megxie either, I'm just saying. Why subject the kids to this? Her mental health, yikes. I know, right? Here, we've got Nina saying, we all know that the person who will be suffering the most from all this is Meghan. She's going to be humiliated, laughed at, called out, attacked, bullied. They're going to be daily attacking her. She won't get a day of peace. Every day they would have paid paps on her the moment they know about the house. Also, what will happen with As Ever? Nothing's happening with As Ever. It's been running to the ground. Who would run it from the US? Bringing it to the UK is good to be difficult because laws are completely different. Also, her products, commercial deals, her friendships, she's completely uprooted. She was really protected in Montecito and had built a great life. She's going to be crucified for everything. They want her dead. They won't stop, especially now that they have her in the UK. Blah, 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 blah. Some of them are trying to make out that Megs is a victim in all of this. What? Excuse me? They're all freaking on meltdown, I'm telling you. Here we've got Nina saying, I don't buy the excuse that it's about King Charles having cancer. King Charles never has really shown any interest on keeping a close relationship with Has or the children. On another note, she's going back to terrible, terrible nastiness coming to her, even worse than before, and the children are going to face a terrible, terrible environment. I'm afraid the kids would be horribly bullied. I'm absolutely gutted for Meghan and the kids. Basically turning around and saying they're taking the kids to the UK and they're going to put the kids in a scenario where they're going to be horribly bullied. And they're not going to be horribly bullied. But again, they're not happy with Megxie and Azza returning to UK. Not at all. And so here we've got maybe Diane saying Meghan better find her some friends because black folks are not going to be riding for her a second time. Out here making us look foolish, then you're going back like, girl, OMG, what the fuck? Yeah. I know, right? And let's go with some final reactions from the Sussex squad. Queer Lips of Truth II saying Sussex squad is angry. I Am Sage saying, as far as I'm concerned, any battering Harry is about to receive is deserved. Because what the F is this? Yeah. So all in all, I cannot believe it, but we are living in a reality right now where I'm agreeing with some of the points that the Sussex squad are currently making when it comes to Hazard and Megxie returning to the UK. I'm going to be honest, as always, right? Hell has officially frozen over. What the deuce is going on? But the bigger story to all of this, Megxie returning to the UK, Hazard returning to UK, Sussex squad ain't happy. Big, massive Sussex squad backlash. They are abandoning Megxie. They are not happy with Megxie. Some of them feel that they have been betrayed by Megxie, which have been in conspiracy theory, whatever, even though they're morons, they have been all these years. But, you know, better late than never to realise that, right, guys? Just saying. With that being said, those watching live, stay exactly where you are on X and YouTube because next up, Megxie has broken her silence over her UK return. What is she saying? Oh, we're going to get into that next. But if you haven't done so already, do make sure you are subscribed to join us here on YouTube. If you're watching on X, make sure you're following me at Stef The Alter Nerd for more misadventures of the gruesome twosome. Like, share, and comment down below on your replay, your opinion, conspiracies, theories, whatevers. Again, those on the replay stay exactly where you are, but for those on the live, stay exactly where you are when I can get my teeth back in. But those on the replay, thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate all your faces. And until the next time, you guys, laters. All right, you guys, we're going to get on to Meghan Markle breaking her silence over the UK return in a moment. You can see right here, Casper has joined us. Hello, you, I know. Look at him, he's so cute, isn't he? Doesn't want to be in his bed, but he wants to be on my lap for a little while, so there we go. A little bit of Casper Cam here right now. Look at him. Wants to say thank you for all the Casper books, and thank you to everyone that's subscribed on YouTube and following on X, and everyone that's liked this stream. If you like Casper's little appearance, please hit that like button right now. Come on. Who wants to hit that like button for Casper? I mean, why wouldn't you? He's so cute. Hit the like button for Casper. Come on, guys. Let's get it done. Also, as well, Casper would really appreciate it if you supported his mama on her third channel, Don't Do This on YouTube. The link is pinned right at the top of the live chat, also being shared in the live chat, not only by me, but by the mods as well. We've just hit 350 subscribers on the channel, so thank you so much to everyone that's supporting me there so far. But yeah, guys, with that being said, let's get into the next topic. Meghan Markle breaking her silence over the return to UK. What the deuce is going on? Well, let's get into it right now. Hey up everyone, it's me, Stef The Alter Nerd, your nerdy alternative with Casper on my lap right now, and welcome to another dose of the Daily Nerd, where I break down the royal news and gossip of the day that's pretty much caught my eye, and oh my goodness, yeah. Let's jump into this madness, shall we? Because as Meghan Markle just broken her silence over her return to the UK, certainly looks like it. So let's get into what's being reported here by The Express. Meghan Markle's true feelings about UK move laid bare by Harry's pal. And so, via Hazard's pal, it looks like Meghan Markle is breaking her silence over her return to the UK. So, Meghan Markle is reportedly fully behind Prince Harry's decision to return to the UK with their children, with a friend claiming that the Duchess, Megxie, wants to reconnect her family with Hazard's English roots. A friend of Hazard and Megxie telling the Daily Mail that Megxie is fully behind the move and wants to help Hazard reconnect with his British side. So, Megxie breaking her silence over the UK return is her, via Hazard's friend, turning round and saying that she is fully behind Hazard wanting to go back to the UK and wants to help Hazard reconnect with his British side. In other words, when you actually look at this is Megxie turning round and saying that the return to the UK is not her idea. That the return to the UK is actually not what she wanted. That it's all Hazard on this one. That it's Hazard that made the decision. Hazard wants to go over. So she's supporting Hazard's decision to want to go back to the UK. Not to say that we are going back to the UK because we want to reconnect to our British roots. And that I'm fully behind our decision to go back to the UK. No. Megxie's fully behind Hazard's decision to want the family to move back to the UK. And Hazard's Megxie's fully supportive of Hazard reconnecting with Britain. Interesting, right? Because when it comes to linguistic analysis, albeit an armchair kind of analysis situation, right? It's important to know what someone says, but it's just as important to know what they do not say. See where I'm coming from here? Now, one reaction I want to direct you to is this one from Royally Sage. saying the only thing this title is telling me is that Rachel has been reading social media and needing to clap back. Cowbag, we know you don't want to go back. And here's the headline. Meghan is fully behind this move. Friends of the Sussexes say the Duchess wants to rekindle Harry's English side. The American dream might not be all that it was cracked up to be, and that this really could be a forever return for the family. Yeah, I don't see this as a forever return. How long do you think Meg's going to last in the UK? Put up your pictures right now. With that being said, those watching live on YouTube and on X, stay exactly where you are. I'm not done with you guys yet. We're going to get on to the next section for this live stream, and it's all about Prince Harry and the security situation. So much drama there. So those watching live, stay exactly where you are. But if you haven't done so already, do make sure you are subscribed to join our Alter Nerd tribe here on YouTube. If you're watching on X, make sure you're following me at Stef The Alter Nerd for more misadventures of the gruesome twosome. Like, share, and comment down below on the replay your opinion, conspiracy theories, whatever's on this one. Again, those watching live, stay exactly where you are. But for those on the replay, thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate all your faces. And until the next time, you guys, laters. All right, we'll get on to the next section for this live stream in a moment. Chris Mills. Okay, I think this is another joke. Let's see if we get it this time. And laugh, all right? So, James Blunt helped me with my shopping. Well, James Blunt seems to be a decent guy anyway, so cool with that. At the car, I said, you place what you have in the back. He came to me and said, your boot is full. James Blunt helped me with my shopping. At the car, I said, you place what you have in the back. He came to me and said, your boot is full. Well, if the boot is full, then you just put it in the back seats. The boot's full, you put it in the back seats. I mean, come on. It's not that difficult, is it? I'm obviously missing something. Again. Yeah. Boot's full, fine. Put it in the back. Back seats, you know? Yeah. Yeah. All right, chat. Fill me in. What am I missing here? Let's have a look. Oh, Project Metal Music. Boot is full equals beautiful. Oh, he's referencing James Blunt's song, You're Beautiful. All right. Well, clever, I suppose, from a linguistic perspective. Phonetically speaking. All right. Yeah, try again, mate. Whoops. Chris is also saying, is Ellen DeGeneres' house still available in the Cotswolds? Lefty supporter, there are rumours. Now, something that I've decided at this moment in time that I'm not going to do. There are rumours as to where Hazza and Megxie are going to be when they move to the UK. I, for one, for the time being, will not be reporting on any of that. I'm just not going to. Believe it or not, there are lines I will not cross. Unless it has been made publicly available, right? And has been confirmed by mainstream media and all this lot, I am not going to be reporting on rumours as to where Hazza and Megzy may be living when they move to the UK. Because they do deserve that sense of privacy. I'd be a hypocrite otherwise. Let me put it this way to you. I live in Yorkshire. I mean, that's very, very obvious, right? As soon as I open my gob, that's it. You hear the Yorkshire. It's there. It's unmistakable, right? But you guys don't know where I live, right? You guys don't know the town that I live in. You guys don't even know whereabouts in Yorkshire. Am I South Yorkshire, East Yorkshire, West Yorkshire, North Yorkshire? Yorkshire's a big county. It's the biggest county in the UK. And so, unless like Montecito Royale, it is confirmed, yeah, by, I suppose, Team Sussex in one way or another, I'm not going to be touching with a 10-foot barge pole any stories as to where Hazza and Megzy may be living whilst they're here in the UK. Not going to happen. Because for all their protestations of privacy, they do at least deserve that as far as I'm concerned. You guys may disagree with me, and that's absolutely fine. And I can see why you would disagree with me. Again, I can see that, but yeah. I'm not going to go there. I'm just not. So, yeah, with that being said, let's get on to Hazza and Megzy's security war, because that is still going on. And yeah, does Prince Harry have a blackmail plot to try and get unlimited security upon his UK return? He's now privately pleading with the UK government for security. He's an absolute doofus, and he's just wasting his breath. Hey up, everyone. Welcome to... Do you know what? I don't even know why I just did an absolute brain fart. Let's try that again right now. You know this is live. It is what it is. Let's go. Hey up, everyone, it's me, Stef The Alter Nerd, your nerdy alternative, and welcome to another dose of the Daily Nerd, where I break down the royal news and gossip of the day that's pretty much caught me eye, and oh my goodness, yay, I got it right this time. Let's jump into it with this next story. Prince Harry begging on his knees to the UK government for unlimited security upon his return to the UK. What the deuce is going on? This is the story that's being run in UK circles. Prince Harry privately pleading with Mahmoud for answers on security. So, for those that don't know, and for those that are unfamiliar with UK politics, Shabana Mahmood is our Home Secretary here in the UK. For the American Alter Nerds, that would probably be the equivalent of Secretary of State, probably for want of a better kind of comparison. But yeah, Hazza all of a sudden returning to UK, begging and pleading Shabana Mahmood for answers on his security. Now, this is another reason why I'm thinking all of a sudden their move to the UK is totally last minute, because you would have thought that someone like Hazard, who has been absolutely outspoken about his need for his family to have the level of security he feels they're entitled to before even coming to the UK, would have had that on lockdown before announcing that they are now returning to the UK. Do you see where I'm coming from here? So this only further confirms for me that Hazard and Meg's return to the UK is very, very last minute, very, very much a all of a sudden made for decision. Not planned, not anything. Circumstances all of a sudden have changed like that, and they've had to react like that. The reaction being coming back to the UK. Now, let's get into this story a little bit more. So, it's been reported that Hazard has privately pleaded with Shabana Mahmood for answers on his security as he's preparing to come back to the UK with Megsy and the kids. And so, a risk assessment by Ravik took place at the end of July. Its conclusions, though, the report, the findings, Hazard hasn't had yet. He's also not yet been told whether he, Megsy and the kids will receive police protection when they move back to the UK. And so he's said to feel numbed by his struggle to secure protection and wanted his family to be safe. And so the review carried out by Ravik before Hazard all of a sudden confirmed that he was going back to the UK to live with Megsy and the children. So the review that Ravik did, where it was concluded by the end of July, the findings of which Hazard still hasn't had yet, right? All that was done before Hazard even confirmed that he, Megsy and the kids were moving back to the UK. And so the last minute nature of the decision to move back, apparently as a result of the sudden availability of places for their children at the school where they'd been on a waiting list. I don't believe that, do you? Duke was officially told that the assessment had been completed, but he's been pushing for the results ever since. Now, I don't think the results are going to be in his favour. Why? Because I reported earlier on this year, as a lot of your other favourite Megxiteers and content creators reported on, the insiders had said that politically they're not going to give Hazard and Megsy the security they want because the optics will not look good. That the British public do not support any more taxpayer money being wasted on the gruesome twosome. It's not in the public interest. You want to come back, Hazard and Megsy? Absolutely fine. But you ain't getting that protection. Not a chance. You pay for your own, done and dusted. And you get what you get from Ravik. And you smile and you say thank you. And you crack on. Simple as. They don't like it, move to another freaking country. They don't have to move back to the UK, I'm just saying. They could technically just stay in America. I wonder why they're not all of a sudden. Anywho. So the new review raises the question as to whether Hazard and Megsy are going to get the level of security they want. It would be an estimated £5 million a year if they do get what they want. Hazard's repeatedly argued that the risk he faces was inherited at birth and if anything has only increased in recent years. But there's other royals that, you know, have been born into the royal family and they don't have the protection that Hazard's fighting for and they're able to rock around and be absolutely fine. I mean, think about it. Princess Beatrice and Princess Eugenie, daughters of Andrew, formerly known as Prince. They could potentially argue that they are at high risk and need the security because of their father and because of their mum as well. Let's be real here, right? But they haven't. And they're able to rock around the UK and be absolutely fine. Hazard and Megsy can as well. Oh, the past 5-6 years when Hazard and Megsy have come to the UK, From what we know publicly, there's been no incident. They've been absolutely fine. So they need to drop this. And they are classed as non-working royals, let's be real here. And others, such as Peter Phillips, Zara Tindall, Princesses Beatrice and Eugenia, here we go, do not receive police protection. Many have argued that as a fellow non-working royal, Hazard is in the same bracket. But of course, he's turning around and saying that protection shouldn't be treated as perk of the job or privilege, but rather assessed on risk. In other words, he feels he's entitled to it because of who he is. Hashtag entitlement much? What the hell? Our money. It's taxpayers' money. We're saying no, bog off, and take no for an answer. And someone doesn't take no for an answer when it's been repeated over and over and over and over again a zillion times. I'm just saying. Doesn't look good. Doesn't look good at all. Now, why will he not get this unlimited security? Him begging for it is not going to work. Why? Well, here we go. Other senior full-time working royals such as Princess Anne and the Duke and Duchess of Edinburgh, that's Prince Edward and Duchess Sophie, they don't get round-the-clock protection. So non-working royals don't get round-the-clock protection, and working full-time royals such as Princess Anne and the Duke and Duchess of Edinburgh, they don't get round-the-clock protection either. So you can't even argue that. But they do receive armed police protection strictly whilst carrying out official engagements or representing the Crown. And that ain't going to happen with Hazard and Megxie, so they're done. It's not going to happen. And so let's get on to a couple of reactions here before we get on to the next story. This is from According to Taz, saying security reconsidered, absolutely effing not. They are celebrities now. They are not royalty. They're not carrying out duties for Crown, country or government. They should have to pay for private security the same as any other celebrity. Boom, mic drop, that is it. Not getting any freebies from us. They can piss off. And I'm going to leave you with this reaction from Brittany over at Royal News Network, saying, is anyone surprised that this is getting discussed now? No, this was probably part of the intention exactly. One of the reasons why they're moving back to UK, opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever, try and force the UK government into giving them the security that they feel that they deserve. Let's put it this way. The likes of Princess Eugenia and Beatrice aren't getting that security, and they could easily argue for it because of what their parents have put them through. Right? Even working royals, high-level working royals like Princess Anne and the Duke and Duchess of Edinburgh, Prince Edward and Duchess Sophie, don't get the protection that Hazard and Megxie are demanding for. So why the hell does Hazard and Megxie feel like they're entitled? No matter what. When the likes again of Princess Anne, Duke and Duchess of Edinburgh, and even Princesses Eugenia and Beatrice aren't getting it. Hazard, Megxie, if you're listening, if you're out there in the ether, 3 words for you. No means no. With that being said, those watching live, whether on YouTube or on X, stay exactly where you are. I'm not done with you guys yet because reports are coming through that Prince Harry has made an enemy out of the UK Prime Minister over this security row. I mean, come on. He's just got to drop it. Making enemies left, right and centre now over all of this. So for those watching live, stay exactly where you are. We're going to get into that next. If you haven't done so already, do make sure you are subscribed to join our Alter Nerd tribe here on YouTube. If you're watching on X, make sure you're following me at Stef Alter Nerd for more misadventures of the gruesome twosome. Like, share, Comment down below your opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever, if you're watching on the replay. Again, those watching live, stay where you are. But for those on the replay, thank you so, so much for tuning in. I appreciate all your faces. And until the next time, you guys, laters. All right, guys, before we get on to the next topic, we've got another message from Chris. Here we go. We have enough grifters arriving illegally on boats. Prove their kids. I spend what I've earned over 42 years. Bless you, Steph. Yeah? Yeah. We've got enough illegal immigrants coming over on boats. And I'm literally spend billions on them when we should just be literally deporting them. And if the countries won't take them back, then we should withhold the millions in aid that we're giving to them. We won't give you our money now until you take back the people that are yours. Simple as. Yeah. It's just an absolute piss take what Hazza and Megxie are doing. And the Prime Minister is not falling for it. If anything, Prince Harry has made an enemy, a very powerful enemy. Our own Prime Minister himself over this security row. How? Why? Well, let's get into it right now. Hey up everyone, it's me, Stef The Alter Nerd, your nerdy alternative, and welcome to another dose of the Daily Nerd, where I break down the royal news and gossip of the day that's pretty much caught my eye. And oh my goodness, yeah, let's jump into this madness, shall we? Because as Prince Harry made an enemy out of the UK Prime Minister over this security row, it definitely seems like that. So, story has been coming through after the announcement that Hazza and Megxie are now returning to the UK to live here with the children, that Hazza has privately pleaded with our Home Secretary, Shabana Mahmood, to find out the answers to the last RAVIC review that happened in July as to whether Hazza and Megxie are going to get the security they feel they're entitled to or not, right? He's still waiting for the outcome of that assessment. Now, there were rumours earlier on this year with insiders turning around and saying that they're not going to get it because optics are just not going to look good. The public don't want them to have this security. They don't want taxpayer money going to them. So to give them what they want would be political suicide. So, yeah, they're not getting this security. Guess what? The Prime Minister's reaction to all of this indicates to me Hazza ain't getting it. Here we go. Andy Burnham, who is now our new Prime Minister, for those that don't know, two-tier Keir Starmer is gone. Andy Burnham is basically Keir Starmer version number 2. It's no different. If anything, is actually worse. But here we go. Make sure you subscribe to Political Nerds for more on that one. Andy Burnham washes his hands of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle amid security issue. This is a bit of a short and sweet story, so let's get into it. Andy Burnham has washed his hands of Hazza and Megxie amid their ongoing security issue ahead of their move back to the UK. So, yes, it was announced that they're returning back to the UK, but Andy Burnham was then asked about Hazza and Megxie's security situation and whether the Labour government would step in to assist the couple. They can't. They can't. RAVIC is an independent group that decides on these matters. Government has... It's as if turning around and saying that King Charles can intervene. King Charles can't intervene. Andy Burnham can't either. He added, in response to all of this, he says, this is a private matter. It's a matter for Harry and Meghan, and we wish them well in the move that they're making. Yeah. So Prime Minister is literally turning around and saying, it's got nothing to do with me. No to do with government. It's all to do with Ravik. And guess what? It's a private matter, as in it's nothing to do with the government whatsoever. Nothing to do with the taxpayer whatsoever. Again, this answer indicates to me Azza's not getting the security he wants. He won't, not at all. If he was going to, Andy Burnham would have been more supportive and being like, we are looking into it right now. In light of the new circumstances of Hazza and Megzi coming back to UK with children, circumstances have changed, so we are reviewing it accordingly. He could have said something like that. Something that, again, is very neutral, but is very open to the notion that, yes, his security arrangements may be amended as the circumstances have now changed. But he hadn't done that. He shut it down. No, nothing to do with me. Private matter for Hazza and Megzi. Wish them well in the move that they're making. As in, good luck, but it's not to do with us. That's the message. So our Prime Minister is literally washing his hands of Hazza and Megzi. He wants nothing to do with it. Hazza's just made an enemy out of our UK Prime Minister over this security row. Our Prime Minister wants naught to do with it whatsoever. I won't be freaking surprised. Won't be surprised at all. Now, I just want to add this little bit in from the article. He was asked by reporters on a visit to West Yorkshire whether the government would establish and fund the Hazza and Megzi security situation. He was in Yorkshire. I don't like our Prime Minister, let's be real here. And the Labour government is a freaking dictatorship. And whoever is our Prime Minister under the Labour dictatorship is still a dictator as far as I'm concerned. It's simple as that. They're just, replacing one bad egg with another bad egg. They're all evil. They're all disgusting. We need a general election like now. Anywho, yeah, I wanted to add that in from the article. He was in Yorkshire when he made those comments. So when our Prime Minister turned around and said, Hazza Megzi security situation, not to do with us. Good luck to you, but it's not to do with us. He said that in Yorkshire. Yorkshire represent. There we go. With that being said, those watching live, whether on YouTube or on X, stay exactly where you are. I'm not done with you guys yet. Prince Harry being involved in a cover-up. Oh, guys, I got a couple of stories on that one. So for those watching live, whether on YouTube or on X, stay exactly where you are. I'm not done with you guys yet. If you haven't done so already, do make sure you are subscribed to join us here on YouTube. And if you're watching on X, make sure you're following me at Stef The Alter Nerd for more misadventures of the gruesome twosome. Like, share, and on the replay, comment down below your opinion, conspiracy theories, whatever's. Again, those watching live, stay where you are. But for those on the replay, thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate all your faces. And until the next time, you guys, laters. All right, you guys, let's get on to the next story. Again, it's another short and sweet one, so let's get into it right now. Hey up everyone, it's me, Stef The Alter Nerd, your nerdy alternative, and welcome to another dose of the Daily Nerd, where I break down the royal news and gossip of the day that's pretty much caught me eye, and oh my goodness, yeah, let's jump into this madness, shall we? Because has Prince Harry just been caught getting a newspaper to delete a story in a security cover-up? I'm just asking for a friend here. But this caught my eye on X. And this is from the Office of Indie. Okay. And this is what they shared. Telegraph has deleted the story. But Harry is still asking for $5 million a year security without contributing shiz because he believes it's a drop in the ocean of Ravik's all over budget. And so they've provided screenshots here. This was the story. Criticism of the estimated £5 million a year cost is understood to frustrate Prince Harry, who believes it's just a drop in the ocean of Ravik's overall budget for royalty protection. If he thinks it's a drop in the ocean, why don't he pay for it himself? Just saying, right? Now, interestingly, here's the link on Google with the article. 404 error message. Sorry, page not found. So again, like I said, this is a little bit of a short and sweet story here. Short and sweet video. But I think it's one for me to make that's very important. Because the question here is, did Prince Harry get the Telegraph to delete this story, even temporarily, in a security cover-up? I mean, let's be real here. The Telegraph is a pro-Sussex outlet. Opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever. So, did he get them to delete this story, albeit temporarily, and if so, why? What's he trying to cover up? What does he not want us to know about any of this? Now, I'm going to leave you with this reaction from Royally Sage right here. Saying, sounds about right, but Harry, pay for it yourself. Cheap-ass plonker. You hold no official role, and just being the son of the king does not make you entitled to shiz. Which is what he's arguing. Has us saying because of his status, he should be having the security. The security should be awarded on risk rather than being a perk of the job. Yeah, all right. No, not happening. Not happening. That's just not how it works over here, you dumbass. He doesn't get to abandon his duty, his family, his country, as far as I'm concerned. Head on over to freaking America for 5-6 years and then come back and try calling the shots and saying it shouldn't work this way, it should work this way in my favour. Piss off. Not happening. Not happening. No means no. Get it through your thick ginger freaking head. Just saying. Like I said, this was a bit of a short and sweet one, but for those watching live, stay exactly where you are. I am not going anywhere. We've got more stories to get through on this live stream, so if you haven't done so already, do make sure you are subscribed to join us here on YouTube. And if you're watching on X, make sure you're following me at Stef The Alter Nerd for more misadventures of the gruesome twosome. Like, share, and on the replay, comment down below your opinion, conspiracy theories, whatever's. Again, those watching live, stay where you are, but for those on the replay, thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate all your faces. And until the next time, you guys, laters. All right, you guys, we are going to zoom into the next topic. Again, another short and sweet one, but very, very important to highlight this particular story as well. So it looks like there is another topic that Prince Harry is silencing the UK media on. A story, another one, that he wants to stay hidden. But why? What else does he not want out there? Let's get into it right now. Hey up everyone, it's me, Stef The Alter Nerd, your nerdy alternative, and welcome to another dose of the Daily Nerd, where I break down the royal news and gossip of the day that's pretty much caught me eye. And oh my goodness, yeah, let's jump into this madness, shall we? Another short and sweet video, but another one that's very, very important to highlight. Prince Harry silencing the UK media on a story he wants hidden. What does he not want you to know? What is he trying to hide? What the deuce is going on? Well, thanks to Guido Fawkes over on X, they've literally told us what he's trying to hide from the UK media. And I'll tell you something. This is one of those rare kind of videos, rare moments, where I actually agree with Hazza and Megzi on this one. So let's get into it, shall we? Apparently this was private, confidential, not for publication, but Guido Fawkes is like, I'm going to share it. It's now out in the public domain. It's out there in the public domain now. That's it. It's done. Ipso has today been contacted by a representative acting on behalf of Hazza and Megzi. Editors will be aware that Hazza and Megzi are relocating to the UK along with their 2 young children. It is Hazza and Megzi's wish that their children are able to grow up and enjoy their schooling and childhood safely and free of unnecessary intrusion and scrutiny. The family are aware that news outlets will wish to cover their return. However, they have significant privacy and security concerns regarding the potential reporting of the family's residence and the school to be attended by the children. They therefore request that editors do not publish any information identifying the location of their home or that could lead members of the public to identify the home, given the likelihood that this would lead to intrusion into their children's privacy and potentially safety. For the same reason they ask that the children's school is not identified. A buff went out earlier this week. Now, before I get on to why I actually agree with this, got a question. If Hazza and Megzi are so concerned that moving to the UK could put their children's privacy at risk, to the point where they had to send this out to all the news outlets here in the UK. Why are they moving to the UK? Why are they coming here? Why? They don't have this issue over in America. Just saying. Just saying. Now, why do I actually agree with this? I agree with this because ultimately, how do I put this? Hazza and Megzi are fair game, right? They're fair game. They're adults. They've put themselves out there. The children, largely speaking, are not. The children, largely speaking, are entitled to a level of privacy whereby, unless Hazza and Megzi confirm it, either themselves or via sources or whatever, right, the children should be protected from the mainstream media. Absolutely. Some of you guys watching might actually be disagreeing with me on this one, and that's absolutely fair enough, right? We can agree to disagree on this. But regardless of their parents, they are still children nonetheless. And so, yeah, unless Hazza and Megzi, either via themselves or through sources, i.e. Barry, confirm like which school the children are going to and where they're specifically living here in the UK, do you know what? I agree with this. I agree with this. The children should be protected. Their privacy should be protected. Hazza and Megzi, fair game on that score. Archie and Lily, on the other hand, different kettle of fish. Different kettle of fish. So, Hazza silencing the UK media and wanting this story to be hidden, which school the kids will be going to, where they'll be living, I get that. I actually do. And I agree with it. Now, will the mainstream media respect this over here? Time will tell. But as I said earlier on in this live stream, if you've been watching, live that is, there are already rumours out there through the grapevine. There's already word on the street as to where Hazza and Megzy are actually moving to here in the UK. Not only that, but rumours as to which home they're actually going to be moving into in said place. I'm not reporting on any of that. I'm not. Because as I said before, and as I'm saying now, unless Hazza and Megzy themselves or via their sources, i.e. Barry, confirm A, where they're living specifically, and B, which school their children are going to, then I'm not going to fall into that trap, let's say, of reporting on where they may be, where they're living, which school they're going to, this, that, and the other. Because guess what? That is falling into a trap. That's falling into a trap where Hazza and Megzy can then turn around to UK government and say, look, they found out where we live, we're being harassed, this, that, and the other, we need that security, and then we're out of pocket as UK taxpayers. Yeah. There's a higher chess game going on here. Be aware of it. And think twice as to whether you really want to spread those, let's say, rumours as to where they are potentially going and which house they're going to as well, and whose house they're going to be using. Just saying. But not only that, in terms of, I'm not going to say anything about it because I don't want to fall in that particular trap. The other reason why I'm not going to be reporting on it, unless it's confirmed through Hazza and Megzy or their sources, i.e. Barry, is that, yeah, they do actually deserve that form of privacy where no one knows specifically where they live unless they confirm it. Why? I'd be a hypocrite if I said otherwise. Everyone knows I live in Yorkshire. I open me gob. It's obvious. I am a Yorkshire lass. Through and through. Done and dusted. But Yorkshire's a big county. The biggest one in the UK. Do I live in South Yorkshire, West Yorkshire, East Yorkshire, North Yorkshire? I'm not going to say out. Because I'm protecting not only my home, but my family and friends who live nearby as well. Because if, let's say, it came out where I was living, then, okay, I've put myself out there, so fair enough. But then my friends and family haven't done, and they live nearby. So I'm more protecting my friends and family rather than me when I'm not actually confirming specifically where I live. You see where I'm coming from here? So if I'm not going to turn around and confirm the town that I live in when it comes to Yorkshire, I'm not going to be a hypocrite and expose the town, village, city, whatever that Hazza and Megzy are potentially going to be living in, according to the rumours, this, that, and the other. Because that is a level of privacy that they are entitled to, as far as I'm concerned, for them and their children. And unless, again, they confirm it either via themselves or via sources, i.e. Barry, I ain't going to touch you with a 10-foot barge pole. So, Hazza wanting to silence the UK media on this story in terms of where they're going to live and what schools the children are going to go to, that he wants all that hidden. Do you know what? In this instance, I'm not going to lie to you guys. As ever, truth, I agree with it. I totally agree with it. But enough about what I think, because this one, presumably is going to be very controversial in terms of my thoughts on it. What do you guys think? I'm happy to agree to disagree. So with that being said, if you're watching live, whether on YouTube or on X, stay exactly where you are. I'm not done with you guys yet. More drama incoming. Prince Harry fails to pay his contribution towards the £9 million in Daily Mail costs to the court. What's his punishment going to be? It's not looking good for Hazard. So for those watching live, whether on YouTube or on X, stay exactly where you are. I'm not done with you guys yet. If you haven't done so already, though, do make sure you are subscribed to join our Alter Nerd tribe here on YouTube. And if you're watching on X, make sure you're following me at Stef Alter Nerd for more misadventures of the gruesome twosome. Like, share, comment down below your opinion, conspiracy theories, whatever's. If you're watching on the replay, again, those watching live, stay where you are. But for those on the replay, thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate all your faces. And until the next time, you guys, laters. All right, you guys, we are getting on to I think, fourth section of this live stream. We're nearly done, 5 sections, so we're going to shortly get on to the bonus Hazard and Megsy stories. So we're nearly done, guys. I did say it was a bumper live stream. So much happened over the last couple of days. I've been working behind the scenes to do the research, collate all these stories together for you guys. So let's get into it with the Daily Mail lawsuit update because, yes, a couple of days ago, it came in. Prince Harry has to pay his portion of over £9 million in a 7-day deadline. What happens if he doesn't pay it? What is his punishment going to be? You ain't going to like it. Hey up everyone, it's me, Stef The Alter Nerd, your nerdy alternative, and welcome to another dose of the Daily Nerd, where I break down the royal news and gossip of the day that's pretty much caught my eye, and oh my goodness. Yeah, let's jump into this madness, shall we? Because it was revealed how much Prince Harry has to initially pay alongside the rest of the claimants for losing against the Daily Mail. They're ordered to pay an interim £9.5 million to the Daily Mail publisher. Now, the question is, as the deadline approaches, what's the consequence of Prince Harry not paying his portion? What's his punishment? And there's a possibility that he won't be able to because reports are coming in that he can't afford it, that this will put him into bankruptcy essentially. But firstly, let's lay down a little bit of foundation here because what the judge said when releasing his ruling as to how much Hazard and the rest had to pay in their interim costs is absolutely scathing, guys. And so the court had been told that the Daily Mail's costs were £34.5 million. And so here, they've been told that all of them have to pay a total of £9.54 million by 4 p.m. on the 28th of August, including Hazard. Now, Justice Nicklin also said that aside from where orders had already been paid, that Daily Mail's costs should be determined on an indemnity basis, which means that Hazard and the others must pay towards the cost without the publisher needing to show these were reasonable and proportionate. In other words, Daily Mail don't have to prove a thing. Daily Mail just have to turn around and say, you owe us over £34 million, guys, pay up. That's it. That's it. Hazard and the rest of them were trying to get the judge to rule that the Daily Mail had to prove that what they were asking them for in terms of the costs were reasonable and proportionate. Justice has turned around and said, no, they don't have to do that. Whatever they say you've got to pay them, you've got to pay it. Done. Yeah. Indemnity basis like this, the report says, is more unusual than a standard basis, and there must be conduct or circumstances outside of the norm. Justice Nicklin said in the ruling that it was not simply a case in which serious allegations were made and failed, nor merely a hard-fought piece of litigation in which, after a lengthy trial, the court preferred the evidence to submissions of one side over the other. The claims and the manner in which they were brought, pleaded and pursued, maintained and publicly advanced involved a combination of circumstances and conduct which took the litigation outside the ordinary and reasonable conduct of civil proceedings. So the judge is literally punishing Hazard and the rest of the claimants for their conduct. Opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever. And doing so by turning around and saying, Daily Mail don't have to prove that their costs are reasonable and just. They just have to turn around and say, you owe us over £34 million, guys. Pay up now. Amazing, right? In the 44-page ruling, he said he was granting costs on this stricter basis for several reasons, including the speculative and substantially inferential character of the claims at their origin, the exceptional breadth of the cases, and the public presentation of allegations of serious criminality and impropriety, which were not ultimately established. Yeah. In other words, opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever, Justice Nicklin is punishing Hazard and the rest of the claimants for turning round and bringing a case that essentially just wasted the court's time. That's how I'm reading that as. I don't know about you guys. He said the group were criticised for making and maintenance of very serious allegations against many individuals, the failure to reassess those allegations when the evidence required reassessment, and the continued pursuit of allegations which were unsupported or had ceased to be realistically maintainable. Again, I'm reading that as, I'm punishing your backsides for wasting the court's time over a case that couldn't hold water. You had a leaky bucket. You couldn't hold water. He says, in my judgment, that conduct was unreasonable to a high degree. And he also refused to cap the costs. That's another thing that Justice Nicklin did to punish him. Did not cap the costs. So Daily Mail could have turned around and said, we spent £50 million on this case to defend ourselves. You have to pay up now and pay us back that £50 million. And the judges turned around and said they don't have to prove that they're reasonable costs. They're saying you owe them that much, you got to pay them. Daily Mail could have done that, but they're asking for $34.5 million. So they're asking for that. They don't have to prove that they're reasonable. They just ask for it. Claimants have to pay, or the losers have to pay it. No arguments, no nothing. And secondly, there's no cap, which means that the judge hadn't turned around and said, okay, well, out of the £34.5 million, you only have to pay 20 million of it. Nope. Nope. The judge is essentially turned around and saying, you're paying all of it. You're paying all of it. Now, this is the kicker. What happens if Hazard doesn't pay what he initially owes within the 7-day deadline? What is his punishment? Now, thanks to HRH Lady J for doing a little bit of research on this over on X, saying if Hazard fails to pay the costs ordered against him, or his share of the joint liability, Associated Newspapers can enforce the order through the normal UK civil enforcement process. High Court costs order is treated as a judgment debt. This can include High Court enforcement orders, seizing and selling goods in England and Wales, freezing money in UK bank accounts through a third-party debt order, or placing a charging order over property or other assets he owns in England and Wales, which can potentially lead to an order for sale. He can also be ordered to attend court to disclose his finances and assets under oath. If the unpaid sum exceeds the statutory £5,000 threshold and statutory demand is ignored, bankruptcy proceedings could also be brought, with the trustee then dealing with his available assets. Interest continues to run on unpaid sums, and enforcement costs can be added to the debt. The cost order is against the claimants collectively, so Associated can potentially pursue one or more of them for the full amount, or any balance left after insurance. If Harry doesn't pay his portion, the other claimants could remain liable for the shortfall. So if Hazard doesn't pay his portion, Associated newspapers don't only just have to go after Hazard, they're all still liable for that person's portion. Interesting, right? An unpaid judgment can also affect credit records, and continued non-payment can lead to further court action over his finances or insolvency. In practice, the pressure of enforcement often encourages payment or settlement before matters get that far. So the Daily Mail publisher would still have to take formal enforcement action if the interim payment due on 28th of August or any later assessed sum isn't paid. Living in the UK also removes the main practical barrier that existed whilst Hazard was based primarily in California. Yeah, maybe Hazard's move to the UK might not have been a good idea after all for him, right, guys? With that being said, those watching live, stay exactly where you are. I am not done with you guys yet. We are now going to get on to the bonus Hazard and Megsy stories for this live stream, so stay tuned for all of that. But if you haven't done so already, do make sure you are subscribed to join us here on YouTube. And if you're watching on X, make sure you're following me at Stef The Alter Nerd for more misadventures of the gruesome twosome. Like, share, comment down below your opinion, conspiracy theories, whatever's if you're watching on the replay. Again, those watching live, stay where you are. But for those on the replay, thank you so much for tuning into this video. I appreciate all your faces. And until the next time, you guys, laters. Hey up, you guys. All right. So, with that being said, let's get on to the next topic. Is Meghan Markle and Prince Harry to sell their Montecito home to avoid bankruptcy? Guys, let's get into it right now. Hey up everyone, it's me, Stef The Alter Nerd, your nerdy alternative, and welcome to another dose of the Daily Nerd, where I break down the royal news and gossip of the day that's pretty much caught me eye. And oh my goodness, yeah, let's jump into this madness, shall we? Because is Meghan Markle and Prince Harry actually going to sell their Montecito home to avoid bankruptcy? There's some receipts I want to show you, so let's get into it right now. This being reported by the New York Post. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle likely to list Montecito Mansion as staggering monthly costs are revealed. And so the official line from Megsy and Hazard is that they're not going to sell. They're keeping the home, and that's it. However, a source in the Santa Barbara luxury real estate market told the New York Post there have been rumblings the couple will sell, adding that every broker wants that listing. And so this comes as it's been revealed that the property costs a staggering $600,000 plus a year in mortgage payments and tax alone. Jason Streetfield, a Douglas Elliman broker who represents the Santa Barbara and Montecito area, separately told the Post deals of this size don't always show up on the open market right away. Interesting, right? He says many times properties like this will trade off market with a non-disclosure agreement signed and all of the terms sealed until the property records at the county. It's very possible that they would be listing it, but I have a strong feeling that it's already being discussed and shown. So an expert in the area is turning around and saying they usually don't list it publicly, these kind of properties with these kind of clients, that they do it privately. And in situations like this, he's seen it time and time again that they're probably actually opening it up right now and showing it to prospective buyers. Very secretly, hush, hush, kind of under the radar situation. And so here we've got Nancy Sidley, my mate from Sidley Twins, referencing another good mate of mine, Resting Dollface, saying my girl Resting Dollface was right. Why would this be in a realtor magazine? Why would it be? And here's the screenshot of it. Realtor.com, Meghan Markle starts a 45th birthday with a pajama dance party around the kitchen of $14.7 million Montecito mansion. Why would that kind of news be in a realtor magazine outlet? Unless this story was there to promote the property and the inside of the property and the value of the property right there in the headline, $14.7 million Montecito mansion. This is the equivalent of an advert to sell that property. Opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever. And if you don't believe me on that, do you know what? How about the California Post? They're reporting that Hazard and Megxie will be putting Montecito Royal on the market. Again, thank you, Resting Dollface. What did I say? She says, Harry and Meghan Markle will probably be selling their home soon, probably hoping for an off-market deal. Now look what is being reported. California exclusive. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle likely to list Montecito mansion as staggering monthly cost revealed. There you go. And so the question then is, well, when will they put it on the market? Because, guys, it's not if but when, right? It's not if but when. So we've got Royally Sage here sharing this blind item from Secondhand Coke. Again, it's a blind item. Pinch of salt, do your own research, come to your own conclusions. But here we go. The blind item says, well, I talked to some people today and I don't have a whole lot of information, but I do know is that this was sudden. This was not in the works for more than 10 days, if that. And yes, it's gossip as usual, but I believe that detail is confirmed. It also makes practical sense. You can't hide plans like these. Now, why the sudden departure? There are legal issues that will be coming to a head supposedly within the next 2 weeks to month, I've been told. I don't know what the legal issues are. This is highly likely to be more than just the filing of a civil lawsuit. I don't think it has to do with immigration either. This has to be something with some teeth to make them leave the country. It's not just somebody pressing a lawsuit. I've also heard that despite claims of the Montecito house being kept by Harry and Meghan, that we can expect it to be publicly listed on the market by December. Time will tell. And so, how much will they get for it? Well, estimations are very much all over the place on this one. Thanks to Nancy Sidley saying Redfin thinks it's worth $59 million. Zillow thinks it's worth $33 million, and Realtor says it's worth below $70 million. It's all over the place, which is not a good sign for them. It really isn't. And so, going around full circle, now that I've shown you, as far as I'm concerned, some receipts that prove that they are selling this home, it's going to happen. Then why would they sell this home? Could it be to avoid bankruptcy? I mean, let's put it this way. I'm not going to go into all the details, but if you missed it earlier on, and I will be releasing it as a separate video, I discussed one of the reasons why they're moving back to the UK, in my opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever, is to pay less tax. In my opinion, avoid paying tax, actually. They are going to save millions and millions and millions of dollars in not having to pay tax. And in some cases, other tax in the UK where they should be paying 45%, but they'll be paying 12% instead. Again, still saving millions of pounds in tax payments, right? They need that money. And by selling the Montecito home, they don't have to pay any capital gains tax on it. So again, more millions in their back pocket. Millions that they desperately need right now, if you're to believe the reports that they are close to bankruptcy. If you're to believe the reports that Hazard is going to struggle to pay his court liability after losing against the Daily Mail. This is why I say it's not a matter of if, but when they sell their Montecito home. And a few years ago, you'll remember, if you've been on this channel for a while now, that in France, they did an episode, a little mini documentary called Harry and Meghan Royal Business. They went to Montecito and they got some experts and they did a little bit of a deep dive into Hazard and Meg's finances. And they looked into the maintenance costs for Montecito Royal, and you're talking about $2 million a year for that, security, another $2 million, her lifestyle. I mean, millions and millions and millions of dollars every single year just on the house alone. I calculated that based on the public information of the deals that they had at the time when it came to Netflix, Spotify and the like, that unless new deals were going to come in that would replace the big bucks deal so they could maintain that level of income, they couldn't afford to live in Montecito Royal for very long. They couldn't live in Montecito Royal past retirement age based on, their spending. Lo and behold, all of a sudden they're coming back to UK and all indications and all receipts are pointing towards they're selling Montecito Royal. Can't afford to be there anymore. And I would say they're in desperate need of some moolah at the moment to avoid bankruptcy. But enough about what I think. What do you guys think? With that being said, those watching live, stay exactly where you are. I'm still not done with you guys yet. Oh, no. We are continuing. But if you haven't done so already, do make sure you are subscribed to join our Alter Nerd tribe here on YouTube. If you're watching on X, make sure you're following me at Stef Alter Nerd for more misadventures of the gruesome twosome. Like, share, comment down below your opinion, conspiracy theories, whatevers. If you are watching on the replay, again, those watching live, stay where you are. But for those on the replay, thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate all your faces. And until the next time, you guys, laters. Okay, guys, we've just got some breaking news. Thanks to your favourite DC lawyer, John Witherspoon, for literally sending this across. This is insane. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm just gonna... Okay, we're gonna start recording. All right, breaking news. 3, 2, 1. Hey up everyone, it's me, Stef The Alter Nerd, your nerdy alternative, and welcome to another dose of the Daily Nerd, where I break down the royal news and gossip of the day that's pretty much caught me eye. And oh my goodness, at this moment, I am actually streaming live, and thanks to your favourite DC lawyer, John Witherspoon, he has just sent in some breaking news. Oh my goodness, shiz the bed. Prince Harry has just been booted from African parks. He is gone. Goodbye. Bye-bye. Finally. He's not left of his own accord, it seems, when we go through this announcement. No. Looks like he's been booted. Here we go. Here it is. This is from AfricanParks.org themselves. African Parks announces a governance refresh of its board. African Parks today announced a governance refresh of its board of directors, welcoming Justice Isaac Lenalola and Alice Ruetza, and if I've mispronounced those names, I apologise, as incoming members, and expressing deep gratitude to Prince Harry, who will conclude his tenure following a 10-year commitment to the organisation. They're not saying he left of his own accord, right? They're just saying he'll conclude his tenure. Very neutral language, that. That to me only means one thing. He's been booted from African Parks. Booted. Gone. Kicked out. Done. Centre Barley didn't want him. Now African Parks don't want him. So what else does this announcement say? I haven't read through it all. Again, this is just breaking news for me. I just saw the first bits and I'm like, oh my goodness. Dude has just been booted from African Parks. Wow. So welcome to Isaac Lenaola, Justice of the Supreme Court of Kenya. Currently serves as a judge on the Supreme Court of Kenya. President of the Residual Special Court for Sierra Leone, built a career over 40 years advancing justice for communities in Africa. Its deep legal expertise includes human rights and wildlife law. That is definitely something that African Parks is desperately in need of at the moment. He served on the independent panel of African Parks' grievance and redress mechanism. His appointment to the board, he'll conclude his role on the panel and a successor will be appointed. He'll also serve as the chairperson of the Rights and Safeguard Subcommittee of the board. Welcome to Alice Ruetza, president of AGRA. She brings more than 3 decades of leadership across conservation, sustainable development, and inclusive agri-food systems, with experience spanning Uganda's National Environment Authority, the WWF, Conservation International, UNDP, and AGRA. Recognized thought leader in the field, she's contributed to the GEF Scientific and Technical Advisory Panel and consistently champions approaches that connect people and planet, advancing conservation, livelihoods, and resilient African institutions. Ms. Ruetza will also serve on the Conservation Subcommittee of the board. Okay. Here we go, a little bit more of Hazza. Following a 10-year association with African Parks, Hazza will conclude his tenure on the board of directors. His relationship with the organisation dates back to Malawi in July 2016, when he supported one of the largest elephant translocations in history. He served as president for 6 years before being appointed a member of the board of directors. Over the years, Hazza has brought global attention to the urgent need for biodiversity protection for the benefit of people and wildlife, and has contributed greatly to promoting philanthropy for the cause of conservation in Africa. Hazza remains deeply committed to this cause and remains a strong supporter of African Parks' work. Yeah, all right. Such a strong supporter that they've booted him. I don't see this other than booting him. Simple as. We extend our thanks to all the members of the board who generously volunteer their time in support of our conservation mission, particularly to Hazza for a decade of committed service to African Parks. We're delighted to welcome Justice Isaac Lenaola and Alice Ruetza, whose distinguished records will contribute to the depth of expertise and breadth of experience that have long defined our board, said Vas Narasimhan, the chairperson of the African Parks Board. And again, if I've mispronounced that name, I apologise. These changes will take effect from the forthcoming board meeting on 30th of September 2026. As a non-profit organisation, African Parks Board members are not remunerated beyond compensation for expenses. So there's not even a quote from Hazza in this announcement for him leaving African Parks. shiz the freaking bed. He got booted. He got booted. If he left of his own accord, then he would have written up a little bit of a doodle to be like, you know, really happy that I was here for 10 years. We did so much, this, that, and the other, blah, blah, blah. I'm glad to be leaving it in capable hands to advance the mission for the future for African parks, blah, blah, blah. The fact that there is no quote from Hazza whatsoever in this announcement, he's not happy. They've booted him. They've booted him. He's gone. Why, though? If that's the case, why? Oh, that'd be something to ponder, right, guys? But yeah, as I'm literally live right now, breaking news, thanks to John Witherspoon, your favourite DC lawyer, for sending this over. African Parks announces a governance refresh of its board. Prince Hazza is out. Booted. Bye-bye. Sayonara. Don't let the door hit you on the way out. Oh, gotta sting, right? With that being said, those watching live, stay exactly where you are. We will resume the scheduled programming in a moment. But if you appreciated this breaking news, then make sure you are subscribed to join us here on YouTube. And if you're watching on X, make sure you're following me at Stef The Alter Nerd for more misadventures of the gruesome twosome. Like, share, comment down below on the replay, your opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever. If Hazza has been booted from African Parks, and I believe he has been, why do you think that's happened? Why do you think African Parks has booted Hazza out of the organisation? I'd love to know what you're thinking, so let me know in the comments down below. Again, those watching live, stay where you are, but for those on the replay, thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate all your faces, and until the next time, you guys, laters. Oh my goodness. Let me just make a note, send a message to John. There we go. Just thanked him for the breaking news. If you're watching, appreciate you, John, as ever. A few thank yous before we get into the last couple of topics that I've got on deck for you. Chris Mills, Chief Security Chief, said, we are fed up of guarding empty rooms, no kids, toys or school runs. I've already went through that, didn't I? Okay, yeah. Chris Mills says, no, it needs rebuilding. The property is deficient. I've heard. And Chris Mills again saying, bless African Parks. I know, right? What the deuce is going on there? Wow. Well, I'll keep you up to date on that situation. Dudes. With that being said, last couple of stories on deck. We are now into the bonus Hazza and Megxy story section. 2 bonus stories for this week, because it's been an absolute mega live stream. My goodness, we're on what? Wow, 1:30 in the morning here in the UK. So I've been streaming for 10, 11, 12, 1. I've been streaming for about 3.5 hours. Yes. And I didn't even have to count that. If I just looked at my OBS studio, it would tell me right there. Yes, 3 hours and 23 minutes. Yes. I am that dedicated, guys, to giving you all the tea and all the news. So with that being said, let's get into the bonus Hazza and Megxy stories right now. Hey up everyone, it's me, Stef The Alter Nerd, your nerdy alternative, and welcome to another dose of the Daily Nerd, where I break down the royal news and gossip of the day that's pretty much caught me eye. And oh my goodness, yeah, let's jump into this madness, shall we? Because, my goodness, Meghan Markle must be horrified over Montecito neighbours' reaction to her returning to the UK. They ain't sad to see her go. They're celebrating. They're already bringing out their best champagne and bunting, and they are having a celebration to end all celebrations as they get rid of the gruesome twosome from their community. So let's get into this story that's been reported by Radar Online. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's Montecito neighbours rejoice over their move back to the UK, saying good riddance. Many locals looking forward to a little peace and quiet now the spotlight on the region is set to ease. One resident saying, when we first heard that Azza and Megxi were moving to Montecito, there were definitely some concerns. There had already been so much negative press and attention surrounding them and the royal family, and I think people worried about what kind of spotlight that could bring to such a quiet community. They noted that they couldn't be more thrilled now that Hazza and Megxi are going back to the UK, saying Montecito is a very private, peaceful place. And I think a lot of people here will be happy to see things go back to being a little quieter. Now, just as a side note, I've been at Montecito. And I released a video on it, so if you didn't watch it, it's here on the channel. Go find it. I went with my big brother Andy, and he did some videos over on Popcorn Palace over it as well. So much fun, by the way. And when I went to Montecito, I thought it was very quiet and very peaceful anyway. There weren't any paparazzi hanging around or all like that I could see. It was just people minding their own business like we were doing anyway, right? Chilling out, walking, going into shops, restaurants, bars, whatever, right? To be fair, if you didn't know that Hazza and Megxi lived there, if you went to Montecito, you wouldn't think that Hazza and Megxi lived there. You see where I'm coming from? It was still quiet. It was still peaceful. It was still, from what I could tell, very Gucci, right? Very private. Wonderful place. Don't get me wrong. Very, very wonderful place. You've got to have some money to live there. That is for certain. But still, very wonderful place. Very welcoming place as well, actually. But, yeah. You've also got the insider claiming that people are happy to see Hazza and Megxi go, as the couple are allegedly always asking for grandiose favours from their friends and acquaintances because of their titles and never give anything back to them or the actual Montecito community, adding the town is exhausted by them, the entitlement and the never-ending drama. Some locals have even taken to referring to the pair as the grift and griftess of Sussex. I love that. And this is the thing. This reminds me of the story that hit the news when Hazza and Megxi initially moved to Montecito. You had one Montecito resident who's a historian there who tried to welcome Hazza and Megxi, went up to their property with a book and a DVD that just, detailed the history of Montecito to welcome them into the community, this, that, and the other. So it was very innocent. And security was like, no, we're not letting you in. Security even refused to take his presents and his welcome gift to the community, from the community to Hazza and Megxi. I mean, it's one thing to turn around and say, no, you're not coming in. I get that. The least that they could have done would be to take his gifts, his welcome gifts from the community to Hazza and Megxi. Wouldn't even do that. Hazza and Megxi refused their neighbour's gift, their neighbour's welcome gift to the community. To me, that says it all. And over the years, as I've reported here on this channel, there have been various reports where Montecito locals have turned around and said they don't really involve themselves in the community. They don't really give to the community at all. And the only time they do show up in the community and do give to the community is when they get something out of it. So, for example, Godmothers, right? When that opened, Megsy attended. Why? Because later down the line, Godmothers then started to sell her as Ever Tat, didn't it? So Megsy will only come out and support the locals of Montecito if she's getting something out of it. So when this source is turning around and saying that they've labelled Hazza and Megsy the grift and griftess of Sussex, I totally believe that. And when this source turns around and says they always take, but never give. Yeah, I can totally believe that as well. Can I also totally believe that Montecito is breathing a sigh of relief that they're finally getting rid of the grift and griftess of Sussex? Do you know what? Yeah. Because we breathed a sigh of relief when we got rid of Hazza and Megsy in the first place and they hopped it over across the pond to America. Now we're like, oh, no, they're coming back. No. Do you not get it? Do you know when you're not wanted? What the hell, right? But Megsy, an alleged narcissistic nutbag from hell, probably thought that leaving Montecito be like, what will we ever do without our Megsy? Oh my goodness. No, she's getting the opposite reaction. They're celebrating. They're happy that they're getting rid. You know what? At least someone's celebrating in this transaction, because us British, we're not celebrating at all. We're freaking dreading it. With that being said, those watching live, stay exactly where you are. I'm still not done with you guys yet. If you haven't done so already, though, do make sure you are subscribed to join us here on YouTube. If you're watching on X, make sure you're following me at Stef The Alter Nerd for more misadventures of the gruesome twosome. Like, share, comment down below your opinion, conspiracy theories, whatevers. Again, those watching live, stay exactly where you are. I'm not done with you guys yet, but for those on the replay, thank you so much for tuning into this video. I appreciate all your faces, and until the next time, you guys, laters. All right, guys, we are getting on to the final story for this week's bumper live stream. I told you there was so much to get through over just the last couple of days since they announced they were coming back to UK. So much came out. But again, like I explained at the beginning of this live stream, I didn't want to jump on it straight away for a few reasons. I was on a mental health break up in North Wales, and it was absolutely glorious. Definitely what the doctor ordered, kind of pun. But secondly, when something like this happens, and it's absolutely big news, massive, earth-shattering, like it's just so shocking, I knew that we were facing a situation whereby initially there'd be information out there that would eventually be turned over, debunked. And we've seen that happening. So I wanted to stand back, see it all play out, then collate all the stories together, all the information together, figure it all out, and then give it to you all in one big, massive ass live stream. Hello, you're welcome. Like over 3.5 hours later, and I'm still here. But we are on the last story. Before we get on to the last story, just to remind you guys of my third channel, the expansion of the Alterverse continues. Don't do this on YouTube. It's for everyone, guys. So subscribe right now if you haven't done so already. Thank you so much to everyone that already has so far. 357 of you. I really do appreciate it. We need to get to 1,000 subscribers to get just that one step closer of being next level YouTube legit. In other words, being monetized, okay? So don't do this on YouTube. What do I do on there? So we all love the drama. I love the drama. You love the drama. To say that you don't, to be fair, you're probably lying, right? Let's be real here. But this is the thing. I will discuss on this channel the drama of well-known social media and celebrities, yeah? Like Perez Hilton, PewDiePie, Hayden Panettiere, okay? But what I do on this channel here is not only discuss the drama and what happened, but how can we turn it into a teachable moment? What can we learn from it to be better people? So whether you're a YouTube creator or you're a viewer, doesn't matter. This is for everyone. Everyone loves the drama. Everyone likes to report on the drama. I do too, right? Hey, open book. Simple as. I'm going to call a spade a spade. But not what a lot of people don't do, as far as I'm concerned, is teachable moment. What can we learn from it? What good can come out of this that we can learn to be better people? And so that's what I do right here on Don't Do This on YouTube. So please, if you haven't done so already, I'm going to spam the chat because it's my channel and I'll spam if I want to, spam if I want to, spam if I want to. There you go. If you haven't done so already, I see 250 of you still watching. There's 366 of you watching on X. So if you haven't done so already, please right now do me a favor. It will really, 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 really help me. If you can't do anything else, please go over to my third channel, subscribe right away. I would love to get halfway and get to 500 subscribers. So please be part of this early success. Be with me. Subscribe right now to Don't Do This on YouTube and you will not regret it. If you like me on here, you're going to like me on there. That's pretty much the gist of it all. With that being said, let's get on to the final topic. Meghan Markle is ditching her mother Doria Ragland in the UK move. I don't think Doria's happy about this, so let's get into it right now. Hey up everyone, it's me, Stef The Alter Nerd, your nerdy alternative, and welcome to another dose of the Daily Nerd, where I break down the royal news and gossip of the day that's pretty much caught me eye, and oh my goodness, yeah. Let's jump into this madness, shall we? Because is Meghan Markle ditching her mother Doria Ragland in this UK move? Yeah, she is. Yep, she is. Doria has now outlived her usefulness, in my opinion, conspiracy theory, wherever, and is not returning to the UK with Megxie and Hazard. The official line is absolute BS, but let's get into it. This is being reported by TMZ. Meghan Markle's mum, I'm still California dreaming. Sources familiar with the situation tell TMZ that Doria isn't making the move with the couple despite her close relationship, alleged close relationship, with Megxie and Hazard. TMZ are told that Doria maintains a home near LA. She has a life she's not ready to leave behind. The sources say that she'll see the family, though it's unclear where. Sources say that Doria is active in the local yoga community. Oh, that's what they're calling it now. Wink, wink. And that she has quite a few friends there as well. And so this is going to change everything because sources are saying that Doria often visited Montecito to see Megxie, Hazard and the kids. But yeah, she can't easily drive all the way to UK, let me put it that way. Now, Doria has surfaced since the news broke that Hazard and Megxie were returning to the UK, and it don't look like she's happy with the news at all, really, in the grand scheme of things. No tears before daughter's fam moves to the UK. This is the picture they got. She don't look happy, does she? But TMZ is trying to spin it, opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever, saying Megsy's mum isn't shedding any tears about her daughter and grandkids' imminent departure yet, looking stoic after news broke that the Sussexes are moving back to the UK. A photographer, bear in mind, Backgrid, who a certain Megsy may have on speed dial, who knows, right? Photographer snapped pics of Daria walking through her LA neighborhood on Thursday with a furry friend, a happy-looking dog nipping at her heels. Now, we don't get regular sightings of Daria, right? We don't get regular pictures of Daria, but all of a sudden, right, Hazza and Megsy announced their return to the UK. They put out to TMZ that Daria ain't coming to them to the UK, but she's totally Gucci with that because she's got her own community and her own life in California that she don't want to ditch. Okay. And then all of a sudden, we get a picture of Daria taken by Backgrid. First picture of her since the news broke. She don't look good. She don't look happy. But TMZ is like, well, at least she ain't crying. At least she ain't crying, which means she's all right with Hazza and Megsy taking the kids back to UK and ditching her and leaving her behind in California. Because she's got a yoga community. As long as she's got a yoga community, she don't need a daughter, she don't need a son-in-law, and she don't need her grandkids around. Because she'd rather stay with her yoga community then go all the way back to UK and be with her daughter, her son-in-law, and her grandkids that she says she loves to pieces. She's choosing, opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever, her yoga community over her daughter, her son-in-law, and her grandkids. That's pretty much, in my opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever, what TMZ has just exposed there. Yeah. So if anyone thought that Daria was going to be tagging along with Megsy and Hazza to UK, think again, because Megsy's just markled her mother. Megsy, opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever, has ditched her mother, Daria Ragland, in her UK move. Daria ain't coming back to UK. They're trying to spin it. Well, she's got her own life, her own yoga community. There's yoga communities over here in the UK. But no, the one in California where she lives is that important. That she's happy to let go her daughter, son-in-law, and her grandkids to be able to still be in that yoga community in California. So important, right, guys? Who's believing that bull? Megsy's ditched her mother. It's as simple as that, opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever. With that being said, though, those watching live stay exactly where you are on YouTube and on X. But if you appreciated this video and you want more, and of course there's going to be more, then make sure you are subscribed to join us here on YouTube. If you're watching on X, make sure you're following me at Stef The Alter Nerd for more misadventures of the gruesome twosome. Like, share, comment down below on the replay, your opinion, conspiracy theories, whatever's. Again, those watching live, stay where you are. But for those on the replay, thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate all your faces. And until the next time, you guys, laters. We've gone through it all. We have done it, you guys. We are towards the end. Again, just a little bit of a friendly reminder. If you haven't done so already, please support the expansion of the Alterverse and join me over on Don't Do This on YouTube. Thank you so much to everyone that has already made the jump over there. My goodness, we're now up to 364 subscribers. Let's get it going, guys. I'd love to get to 1,000 subscribers shortly so we can tick off the first box to monetization, to becoming next level YouTube legit. Appreciate all you guys. With that being said, a couple of thank yous before we go. Ms. M, thank you so much for the Ginger Doggy Fighting Arts moment. Appreciate it. And Tammy Job D1, bosh bosh. Bosh indeed. But that, you guys, is it. It is literally coming up to 2 o'clock in the morning here in the UK. Yep. That's how dedicated I am, guys. Wow. It's been an evening. 3 hours and 45 minutes of wonderful streaming fun. Appreciate you all. But with that being said, I have to go to sleep. I am absolutely shattered now. So thank you so much to everyone that tuned in live on YouTube and on X and keeping in me company right to the end. Thank you so much to everyone that's commented in the live chat. Special thank yous to those that sent Casper books my way, that contributed towards this week's super chat goal. My brain's shutting down now. That is it. Super chat stickers, member only chats, those that actually gifted memberships. Thank you so much to you guys as well. Thank you so much to those that have subscribed to this channel, that are following me on X and have subscribed to my new channel. Don't do this on YouTube. If you haven't already, please, on your way out, click on this link right now and just hit that subscribe button. I appreciate all of you guys' support over there. Really, 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 really do. But yeah, with that being said, I'm off skis. So wherever you are in the world, enjoy this week. You're gonna get your daily videos, and I will see you live again next Sunday, 10 o'clock UK time, 5 o'clock Eastern, for another round of the Daily Nerd Live. I told you my brain's shutting down at this point. Plus, I need to get a drink of water. So, without further ado, laters, see yous, good night, sayonara. I'm out. I'm done. I need to go to bed. Good night, everyone.